Hi everybody, how's it going? Oopsie, sorry, I have to undeafen myself. Hey everybody.
Oh, us?
Yeah, everybody's here. I'll turn down the music. Hi, judges and audience. Welcome to the RPG Maker Game Jam 2025 discussion of 2025 within the year of 2025. My name is Benny, and these are our judges for the RPG Maker Game Jam 2025, and Nessie as well, because you enjoyed it, and obviously it's awesome, and we love all our judges and everybody in the world. I am a professional host. Yeah, and also, sorry, we can't have Riggy here. Riggy is busy preparing for too many games. He has a game called Deluge. I will post that in chat. And he is remaking it in MZ, and he's going to take that to too many games. So he had to work on that. So he's sorry he can't be here. But yeah, no Rigathy, no. How are we going, judges? How are we doing?
Good. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing swell. It's really funny having everyone here because we've been talking and chatting nonstop in the Discord for like ages. It's like super active all the time. We're talking about all of your chat. Chat is going wild. I can't even keep up. This is probably the most active my chat has ever been. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, hi Ozzy, hi Ken Dino, hi Call Me DJ, Inazuma, Honey Nut Fimios, Narcotis, Johnny Nerco, everybody Ligonin, Nova, hi Nova. Yeah, wild stuff. Alrighty. I just realized I can't possibly keep up with chat while this is going, but I'm just going to say thank you, chat, for being here. Thank you for all of your awesome entries. Thanks, everybody, for being part of this game jam. You are incredible. Shower them with love and appreciation. Yes, we really loved playing all your games, and you put so much time and effort into them. And game dev, all your games are blessings, and thank you. And yeah, it's been great. Amazing. Big thanks to the judges. Yes, congratulations to all the winners and the participators. If you even made a game, that is a achievement in itself. You're doing great. You're being a game maker, and that is what matters. And you are awesome and loved. Yeah, keep doing what you do. Alrighty. Enough of the Benny positivity. I'm known as a very positive kind of leaning person.
That's true. Hey, it provides a great dynamic.
Yeah. At times, yeah. Yeah. So we might as well get into talking about the jam itself. Maybe we'll talk about like just generalized ideas that we had for the jam. I'll go judge by judge maybe, or maybe we can just like start. Does anyone want to start with like talking about how they felt about the jam entries in general and the quality of, or yeah, we start this thing.
Well, if I could put, I guess I'll just go ahead and start. If I could put it into one word, inspiring. Because I'll channel a little bit of you there for a second, but to see the wide variety of everything that was submitted over the course of one single month was amazing. So seeing that you guys can put all that effort into larger projects, and I'd love to see what everyone else is continuing on with.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah, like that was really cool to see.
Yeah. And how about you, Liberty? How did you feel about the jams overall, game jams overall? Also, welcome.
Put me on the spot. No, there were so many really cool games, and even some of the less cool games had really cool ideas. So I always love these kind of jams because I always get really inspired to make game, and then I never make game. But these guys all make gamed. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome to actually just go out there and make a game for something like a jam and put it out there for everyone to look at. And I always feel that that's pretty cool that people go and do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about you, Hawk? How do you feel about the jam overall? Welcome.
Honestly, I mean, Liberty and Nova both kind of hit the nail on the head, but it's like I was kind of more surprised by the amount of games that I kind of didn't want to end. You know what I mean? Like, I was actually legitimately enjoying playing them, and then when the timer hit up and I wasn't quite done with it, like, well, I'm going to keep playing, but I won't judge past this point, sort of, because I was so invested in finding out what happened, because the games were just crafted so well that I wanted to see what happened, as a player, not just a judge.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, weren't they? They're like very. It was very high quality, wasn't it? Overall, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was actually very, every jam is high quality, but I was surprised about this jam in particular. There was a little bit of it's like, wait, it's not just a few that are high quality. There's actually quite a few that it was hard to pick winners and hard to pick. There's a lot of high scoring games in my, particularly in my list. Yeah, and everyone's. Yeah, and also I'll just say hi to Nessie or Arkea, who is here as well, who wasn't an official judge of the jam, but we wanted to invite along and has been involved in the process, and just and of course I want to credit Visual Stella for all the amazing graphics for the RPG Maker Game Jam 2025. Just amazing work, and I think you're also muted as well, Arkea. But if you want to introduce yourself and just say hi, I guess.
Hello.
Yeah.
Great job, everyone. I'm so proud. Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah.
We're so happy.
It's a privilege to have you here, AK, as well. Actually, in the judge pedigree, I'm very happy. There's a lot of judges here that have been part of the community for a long time in different ways, and I'm very happy. Loved you to have all of Chad in here as well, going wild. Yeah, great artwork for the jam, existence for a game jam. Yeah, we are quite old. That's true. We've seen a lot. But
Hey,
here,
listen, it's experienced.
yeah, very experienced in
No.
age. Yeah, well seasoned apparently. Yeah, how the ads always work better than the actual stream. Oh no, sorry, Lico, about that. Sorry, that's happening to you. But all in all, yes, since the old age of XP, all in all, yeah, good game jam entries all round, and we chose our favorites. We might as well go through talking about some of our favorites. We could go by like winners, or we could go just by our point out personal favorites or generalized ideas of the jam. I actually have a memo that I should have brought up. I apologize. But yeah, how does everyone here think we should go forward with this? We could talk about different things.
I'm good either way, honestly.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, same here. We might want to just talk about games that stuck out to us personally first, and then we can go down up the just kind of like go up the list, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, that might be a good idea. Because I was thinking, yeah, we could start with the winners, but then we could, we go with our individual, picks. Oh yes. I also want to say, I'm going through my memo now. Benny to say the judges don't necessarily represent all the views of GGG. we represent our own views, and we'll go in a rough order. Maybe overall impressions. Oh yeah, of what people did well, how they understood the assignment, and our personal experience while judging. We kind of. Yeah, I think people overall understood the assignment. Maybe I was thinking about, like how people did well in this jam, maybe, and how they, they could get more points. And maybe that will come out while we talk about different games, because like ideas of theme and stuff, and how theme factored into points, and maybe some judges might have thought. We were looking at different themes, and then it's hard sometimes to judge whether a game is on theme or not. So don't worry, that is not lost on us either. But maybe we'll bring up individual games. Who should start? Do you want me to start, or does someone want to start with a game they particularly want to talk about, or their few picks?
Yeah, go ahead and start.
Okay,
we'll
I'll start.
follow up.
Alrighty.
We're all a bit too shy.
Yeah, it's funnily enough, chat, this is our first time talking as judges in voice chat, so
Yeah.
Even though we are well seasoned in performing in front of people, clapping for us, and cheering us on, and also humiliating us, so we're well
Heckling.
we're well seasoned in that. Except for talking to people, that's a little bit harder. Alrighty, so I will go to my. Okay, so let me bring up some. I'm gonna bring up some funny. Okay, I'm just gonna bring up antes. This is a nice one. Anti-itch soothing cream. What? Antes. Antes.
What?
Itch. I'm
It's one
bringing
of
up.
those kind of streams. Okay.
No, I love antes. This was a good one. For anyone who hasn't seen this one, I mean, we might have different. Oh, they've already added new stuff. Okay. Oh no, they haven't. This is old. Anyway, but yeah, it's basically like a ant colony type game where you expand and build and assign roles, and you have this queen and you upgrade things. Everyone needs to play antes. For me, it was one of the more addicting games of the jam. I think some of the judges went above and beyond. Like, did anyone else? I think Nova, you played some of this beyond.
Yeah, I played it on stream. It took a while to get going because it was one of those situations where it's like, yeah, you were given a lot of options and not a lot of explanation as the intricacies of them. You're given like a sort of a broad explanation at the very beginning, but after that, you're just kind of left to your own devices, which that works in one way. But it does mean that it took a little bit for me to get the hang of things. But once I did, oh boy, it's one of those games that like hit a spot in your brain that you are as if I'm talking for you, but you know what? I am actually, because we all agreed on this one. So yeah, it hits a spot in your brain that just like doesn't let go. You're just like, oh God, I got to keep going. Just one more day. Just one more day. Like 30 days later. No, just one more day. Just one more day.
Someone's saying it reminds me of Ant Sim or Sim Ant for NES. Oh yeah, it's a little bit like that. It's quite addictive. I like idle and upgrade games, and I think that's one of the things about this jam that's quite interesting is everyone in this judges like quarter has slightly different tastes. Some like the visual novels, some like the idle games, some like the this or that. So this was one that really hit me in the idle upgrade sort of. Anyone who's played, I don't know, what's some good ones. I haven't played many of the big ones, but I used to play like I don't know flash games like Motherload, Stick RPG, and all those ones back in the day. And this kind of reminds me of that flash sort of style of like just upgrading stuff. I've played Norp Prologue. I don't know if anyone or not is the Norp, is that the full game Prologue? Norp Prologue, I don't know. Norp Epilogue. This is like an idle game that's pretty similar in that you sort of anyway. I love Antes. Everyone should go play it. I'll link it in the chat. It's very lovely. Another judge, do you have a pick for a different game? Just pop in, or I can ask a specific.
I mean, I've got one. Just like I'm pretty sure this will shock a lot of you if you've been paying attention to the judges chat. I've been a bit. You knew exactly what I was gonna say.
Is it this one?
Yeah. I figured it was that one, yeah.
yeah, it's that one, the Copper Knight. I have been gushing about this game ever since I finished it. And you have no idea how difficult it was for me to like keep silent when I finished it, so that everybody else could get a chance to play it. But oh man, it was.
Nova.
It took in a yeah.
Simp.
Was that you? Was that you that put that in the?
Yes, it was me.
All right, yeah,
Yes, I.
yeah. Someone thought they were funny, and then when we were putting in our recommendations for games, someone wrote in "Simp Nova" for under the Copper Knight. I was like, I've never been more offended by something I 100% agree with.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was.
I didn't think it. It was funny.
This game's great. Oh, you go, Lib. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going
go
to say,
ahead.
I'm with you on this one. This one was pretty good.
What do you mean only pretty good?
Well, I liked others better, but I really loved that you used items. And
Don't be triggering.
that was a whole strategy. And it validates me in such a way.
Yeah.
Because I love using items in games. And it just does it so well.
I had a hard time with dungeon crawling in the games. I'll be honest. I tried to be as objective as I could, but RPG Maker and the way it does dungeon crawling using it kind of it has some little niggly bits that are hard for me to navigation and all that sort of stuff. It's nice, but it's hard to sort of and I like Melankit as a developer. They're amazing. Yeah, it did win the community vote as well, #1 on the community vote. That's very validating for Nova in particular.
Yep. I'm the voice of the people.
And also, I didn't finish it. And maybe if I finished it, I would have it. It would improve my my opinion more. That's the thing about the judging.
You know what's funny, Benny?
Yep.
When I judged it, I didn't finish it either. And
Right.
I stand by everything I said about it.
I loved it. I gave it actually a pretty high score, actually. Yeah. So yeah. Anyone else?
But yeah, I've never been a big fan of the type of games where you're supposed to like grind in order to win. Because like even if you have the right strategies to complete fights, if you're slightly under leveled and you just get your butt kicked, I'm just like, that's not really a good solution to these kinds of games. So this game ran with that as a concept, and I feel validated by playing this. Be like, yeah, okay, so here's a dungeon where you're 40 levels under, and you have to survive not by raw damage, but by clever tactics. And that is exactly the kind of gameplay that I think would fit in a jam like this. So yeah, this was my favorite game out of all the games I judged.
Really beautiful palette and really great graphics and lovely. It had a nice little fake out start, didn't it? It was quite cute.
Yeah, exactly. And I when I highlighted it, it was pointed out to me that the flashback scene was in I don't think you actually see it on the screenshots here, but in flashbacks, you're actually given a green color as opposed to like what you would normally see in like an old school, what was it, sepia? Not sepia. That tone, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sepia.
Yeah, so it was green instead, and that was the reason behind that was because that's just how copper looks once it's oxidized and once it's aged. And I was like, that's brilliant. So yeah, when you have those,
That's awesome.
I didn't make that connection either when I first played it, but it's really clever. So I'm a big fan of incorporating that, like continuing the theme into every aspect, not just in visuals, not just in storytelling, but as in many places as you can. So there it is. So oxidized copper. Which makes perfect
true.
sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, I didn't even catch that. Shout out to Karunist as well for this playthrough. I just thought of the idea of opening some YouTube, stuff. I am not very good at planning these things. Anyway, how about another game? Someone bring what's another game from a different judge? Copper Knight is amazing. I love that game. Does another judge have?
Oh,
go ahead.
No,
No, go
you
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No.
Okay.
I was just gonna say Axel's Quest. Honestly, for me, was
Oh yes.
it felt kind of like playing a Saturday morning cartoon in a way, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, there's Kuro again.
Yeah. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful game. This is one of those games that I thought might win the jam when I saw it first. I was like, oh wow, this has got a lot of stuff put into it. It did get very high score. But the competition's tough, But the battle screen in particular is quite beautiful. If I bring up one of them, it's very gorgeous. This kind of thing, yeah. These animated
I love
portraits.
that actually.
Yeah, it's very lovely animated. This reminds me of Adventure Time kind of style.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
With
that
the,
you
like
mention it.
the Lich King and stuff. What about the other judges? What do you think of Axel's Quest and stuff?
Okay, yeah. So, sorry, go ahead. I don't want to jump in all the time. I think I've rambled enough at the Copper Night.
No, keep going. Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought it was very cute. Sorry.
Yeah, go Liberty.
I
Actually,
thought
I'll choose
No.
Liberty. I choose Liberty.
Okay, go ahead.
Liberty, I choose you. No, I just thought it was very cute and very sweet, and the characterization was really well done for the characters. They're very loud and in your face, but they're there. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It really,
I never got to this enemy. This is quite cute. Spoilers, sorry.
need that.
Spoilers alert.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to just kind of like jump in and be like, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but because I mean the twist is like 2 minutes in, but like I wanted to, I don't want to spoil this because everyone watching this stream right now, go play Axel's Quest. I was about to say go play Copper Knight. I mean that one too, but go play Axel's Quest. But the thing that that's always stuck out to me when I see jams, because going in that judges are only going to play up to an hour of your game. So to willingly blow past that hour,
Yeah.
that takes a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Because I haven't actually finished it myself. I only played an hour of it, but I was looking at some comments on the page and saying like, yeah, it took like 4 to 5 hours to finish this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
It was almost
it's one thing
unbelievable.
to have a really long game because it's easy to pad it out, but like this is good. Like
Yeah.
really good. The environments you can explore, they're open enough that encourages exploration. There's a lot of optional areas like this. There's a lot here. And that was genuinely surprising to me because I was like, why don't you just focus on making like one core loop and just polish the heck out of it? Not only does this game do that, but there's just so much content to explore. And I think you can look at the length of Kuro's stream to kind of validate that. But
Yeah.
man, that is like good job on the devs for that.
I think they have a YouTube channel as well. They've got some like they've got a couple videos that have views in the millions or something, like fan animations and stuff. So they sort of
damn.
they're well established outside of the game world, and it looks like they've had a little bit of intruded into the a little bit of the game stuff that they're getting into now. But I think their background is in animation, so that makes sense because there's a lot of animated stuff in here.
Well, if they keep putting out stuff like this, they can intrude all they want.
Yeah, yeah, seven people, seven strong team. Yeah. How about another game? Anyone have another game to bring up? We've done a game by Hawk and Nova, and who else is left? Liberty, have you brought up a game?
You're muted.
Wait, where I was muted.
There you go.
Sorry, not yet. You know what? Well, let's complete the list of those games, and I will say Beyond.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
It's such a cute little game. I found myself when I needed a break from judging, just jumping to Beyond and just playing a bit more of it. It was one of the first games I played, and it's just a fun little game. Like it's not long. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It just hey, it's me.
Here we go.
It just it's like a roguelike card pack type game. You pick flowers. You're a bee. You pick flowers. It's fun. It's cute.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very lighthearted, very whimsical.
Yes, and yes. Yeah, I actually did not play this game for the judging of the game, but I did play it after when Liberty recommended it, and I actually really loved it because there's a lot of beautiful games, but this one actually has really nice gameplay too. It's quite balanced actually. It's like a procedural sort of. It is hard to define at points because it is a ongoing sort of it's like a roguelike gardening game.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, roguelike gardening game. It's got those Balatro stuff. Whatever you choose the jokers or whatever. I don't know. These metal medallions, and they have different upgrades. You see gain for every nectar you have 5 up to 50, and then you choose those little medals there, and then you gather flowers as you buy them, and you can choose which flower you want to buy. There were actually there are a few roguelikes sort of ish, not fully roguelike, but like Attack on the Kingdom was another one. That was a great. I might go to that next or later. A great sort of this thing where you upgrade yourself as you go, and each sort of run is different, I guess. Yeah, it's quite cute. It's cute and it's got good gameplay. That's what I like about it. Yeah, it's good to play. as a
Very relaxing too. Like you can play this like 10 minutes before you go to bed, and it's like a better sleep aid than actual sleep aids
yeah,
for
true.
me.
Yeah, this is another one like anti. Well, I don't know if Liberty would appreciate my comparison to antis, but it's another one like antis where I feel like it has longevity. You know, it's like you can play it for a long time, basically.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
You
it's
definitely
like
can.
it's only as long and as deep as it needs to be. It's like, yeah, there's a post game, but yeah, if you just want to keep playing, great, go for it. So yeah,
yeah.
like, but no matter what, like you're gonna have a nice, relaxing time.
I gotta try this out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those that I feel could have a commercial future. You know, like you could
Mm.
expand this, even as is. There are a few. There is the ending bugged out for me, but up until then, it's actually very visually polished and looks cute. Reminds me of a game. There's a game where you farm on your desktop. I forgot what it's called. It's like a row. It's like a horizontal looking game, and it's like an overlay on your desktop. Let me resize my
Farmville?
browser source. No, not quite that one. It's called Farm Overlay Game. Not that one. Not Desktop Farm.
So while he's searching that up, I don't know what this says about me, but when I was knowing this, I think I was playing this early on in my judging because I was going down in alphabetical order. So I saw this game that was setting itself up as a super cozy, super chill game. Then I remembered the theme, Beyond Expectations, and I was going across. I was playing. I was like, okay, when does it take a left turn? When does it take a left turn? Because I was waiting for it to just become something completely different. And to my surprise, it did not.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody else has the same brain worms that I do.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The Shakespeare was the left turn.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, isn't it? Because I think this, if we are to be full, transparency, this game might have been pulled back by its not so obvious that it was adhering to theme, which is a big thing. And that's probably something we could talk about is that adherence to theme gave you points, and it was a 30% chunk of your final points, basically. So it was big, and some games that might not have been, in my opinion, as high quality, but they adhered to theme closer. They took full advantage of those 30%, and what I can say is they understood the assignment. So whenever you join a game jam, it's a good thing as a dev if you can adhere to theme for points, then do so and actually make it quite a high priority because it'll get you up there, basically.
Yeah, one of the things that really undercuts some of the really cool games was their lack of thinking about theme and how big a part of the score it was. And it was sad because you got to judge on, the criteria. So it was a bit rough to be like, oh, this was a possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Yep.
that.
And yeah, more than once. I can count. I don't think. Yeah, I can't count on my hands how many times people integrated that theme with just a simple single dialogue box saying this was beyond expectations. I'm like, oh man, the amount of times I've seen that is like, oh, I'm glad I don't drink because I would be dead if I took a shot every time I saw that.
Another problem was that some people made their games a little over the hour mark and hit that theme, but we didn't get to see it.
Oh
'cause it
yeah,
was
they
over
they,
the
they did it at
hour.
the end, and we didn't reach it because we only can play the first
So
hour.
this recontextualizes everything and just makes it on point with the theme, but it didn't hit within the hour mark, and we can't judge past that. So it's like, why not a little shorter?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there are several ways you can shorten your length. I think the one that really got me, and this is something for devs to keep in mind, was I don't mind a challenging game. I really don't. But we are under a time limit. So if you make your last boss really difficult, and we have to like spend more time grinding to go and make sure to make the level requirement to beat the boss, guess what? That's not going to happen because we're not going to be able to get to it in time.
Yeah, and
So,
that's why Barry
yeah.
B's game had Hawk difficulty as well, because it had.
Oh god.
wait, hang on. Was that actually a reference to you?
That was a dig at me, yes.
Are you?
Where's Barry B's
I had no
game?
idea.
I don't have any
Yeah.
screenshots of it, but yeah. Yeah, this game
So,
this
but
game
just
was
to
very
agree
on
with
you
theme.
guys, there were several times where I would have maybe 10 minutes left of playtime, but for how long it took me to get to the point where I was and how long it would take me to grind up to get to a level where I felt I'd be able to accomplish. I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish this in time. It's just, yeah, like you get to the point and then there's just this difficulty, like complete cliff that you have to dive off of. It happened more than once.
Oh, maybe I was just a contrarian, but when I played this game, it directly told me for jam judges, it's strongly recommended to do Hawk mode.
Yeah.
I picked Crow because
Yeah.
I felt like, so I don't know what it is about like difficulty selections at the very beginning of these games. It's like, okay, well, that my brain always goes towards the normal difficulty rather than the easy one because I want to get the balanced experience. I want to get what I believe is the intended experience, not something specifically catered to me as a judge. So I picked Crow for this one, and whenever I had a difficulty selection for any of the other games, I always tried to go as far down the middle as I could. I don't know if anybody else had the same mentality as me, but yeah, even if you were directly told in game, "Hey, judges, pick this difficulty," I'm just like, no, I'll pick the one I want to pick.
Other than this one, I try to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that I've played Barry games in the past, and I know how my skill level is with a lot of them. So
Yeah. Yeah, I went Dove, and I actually enjoyed it at the beginning, but then I failed a few times, but I was enjoying failing the gameplay, but then I realized I thought that they planned the whole story to be within the hour limit under the Hawk mode, and I was like, oh, I'm actually doing them a disservice because they've told me as a jam judge to do the Hawk mode. And that means that I can get enough story done within the hour that I will see the beyond expectations theme. The truth is with this game, the theme was front and center, so it was pretty obvious. But
Very front and center.
Yes. But it's funny because it was very front and center with this one, and I think it got a lot of theme points for that because it was very obvious. Like, oh, it's almost too obvious, but it's probably better to be too obvious with if 30% of your grade is to do with the theme. I maybe wouldn't be as obvious, but it's better than not having it at all.
Well, putting in that phrase makes it a valid entry, in my opinion, but not much more than that, because in order to really score high points, you have to integrate it not just in the messages, but in the theme of the game. Try to integrate it into the battles, not the battles, the gameplay, which could include battles, but like you have to. If you take out the theme of the game, in my opinion, the game itself should completely fall apart. So one throwaway message dialogue box, yeah, that's going to make it a valid entry, but not much beyond that.
Yeah, it did. It did have a part towards the end that it was very gameplay sort of. It had a fun little gameplay thing that sort of tied it all together story wise. But it is interesting with theme. It's hard to sort of get a consensus sometimes about how much something is beyond. Theme is a hard one. I felt like theme was the hardest category to judge instinctually. The other ones I found a lot easier. Presentation, how pretty does it look and sound, polish, there was a rubric for that, how well does it play, but then theme, you're like, okay, do I see the theme or am I imagining it? Or, it's very subjective. But,
sometimes I felt like we had to do the work, do some of the work to really like stretch the interpretation of the theme to try and apply it here.
Yeah, true.
And that's when usually they score a bit lower because it's like, well, if I have to stretch for it, then they're not really making it on theme, are they?
No.
Right.
Also, I mentioned maybe
Don't
we'll do
know.
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just mentioned we'll probably do a Q&A towards the end. So if anyone has questions, think of good questions to ask, and then we'll answer them towards the end. Of course, our opinions represent ourselves.
yes.
Yes.
and we'll have a fight over it later. But anyone else who hasn't brought a game yet? Do we all bring a game that they'd like to bring, or any other games we'd like to bring?
I'd like to shout out a game.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I did mention that there were some games that after the hour mark hit the jackpot, so to speak, but couldn't. One of those was Smoke Break. Yeah, Smoke Break, and basically you just run a small little shop. You there's sort of like in the background a feeling of uneasiness with it. It's a very cutesy little game, but you basically stock your shelves and then sell your goods to people. It's not very involved. It's very simply set up. But there was a looming sort of like there's a weird feeling here. I don't know if it's me, if I'm gaslighting myself into thinking that something's going to happen.
Suspense.
Or if it's there. It turns out, there is something happening. I won't say what's happening, but there is. You're not gaslighting yourself. But it took so long to get to that point that it didn't hit it. And it probably would have been much higher if it had, which is unfortunate because, themes.
Yes, themes. This is Glenmarith. They're quite a staple in the RPG Maker. Well, they don't have all their games here, but I've played some of they actually chatted with them back in the day on RPG Maker Web. They've created quite a few stuff. I hope this site is safe for work. I just stay on edge.
Oh no!
Afterwards, I did remember their name.
Yes,
and I'm like, oh, Glenmarith. Yeah.
There are a few games
somehow.
Few games like that where I actually usually went into a game looking and not really knowing who made it, and then afterwards I'm like, oh wow, that was them, Sometimes they had their name on the front screen. I tried to sort of avoid knowing who made each game beforehand so that I could get like a very as unbiased of an opinion as possible. But sometimes I was just curious. I wanted to have a look and be like, yes, this is blah blah's game. I like this stuff. Yeah. Pretty
Look,
cool.
Don't watch me being indecisive about where to place my bucket, okay?
I mean, that's the gameplay. This looks like fun. I actually would like this. Reminds me of Willem's. No, what is it called? I don't know. Willet's Factory. What's it called? I don't know. Something. There's a factory game where you sorting game. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, this looks very nice. Go play Smoke Break. Yeah. What did we mention? I'm just gonna bring it up. Attack on the Kingdom by Graham Harbert. Yeah, I like this one. I think Nova also likes this one, right?
Yeah.
This one's great. I like this one. This one's like a Vampire Survivors kind of ish sort of flash game feeling, sort of game where you use the mouse and the WASD and then you auto attack ish. Well, you don't actually auto attack, but I almost used it as an auto attack. And you it's better seen in thank you Karunist again for all these wonderful playthroughs. So you go around and you shoot and you get upgrades and you choose your upgrades like Vamp Survivors, Rames in chat. Yeah, I really love this game. I thought it was great. I didn't know they already had we're seeing Karunist have a hydration break there. They have, attack on games, so I don't know how much of the game's sort of systems they do look somewhat similar in the tile sets and some of the mechanics, but I think there's some key changes present. I don't know what they are. I have to play the other games to figure out, but it is in a series of games, and I think that sometimes helps.
So I can help you with that. I have played all the other sorry to jump in like that. But
jump in, of course.
Attack on games, and this game does so much stuff different from the other ones. It's got the same basic concept, but it does so much on its own, right? That in my opinion, it stands on its own.
Yeah, you can.
It's not just like an asset flip.
Yeah, it's like
So,
it's like
yeah, no, it's-
RPGs that they're not necessarily the same. It's like you're building different things, and then there's enough flips here to be something completely new. I really enjoyed playing it, but I know that there was some like using Q, E, and C and different key binding R and C is difficult sometimes with the key bindings, but like that's just me. And but like C in particular, it was like a hard key binding to get used to when you use WASD. But I think in future those are easy changes. You can just change them to a different keybind. Hopefully, it's easy. Ooh.
I definitely didn't rage during my video play of it.
It's funny how something that simple can change your entire experience, right? Like just the simple thing is where a key is. It actually did change. It does make it a lot different. So if the key binds change, and I don't know, there's some great RPG Maker plugins. There was one. What's their name? Ace of Aces, is it? They have a plugin that does controller bindings and all that stuff, Cook Tool and stuff. They had their own entry as well, but I think this one has great controller bindings and stuff. So you could technically have. It's interesting looking into the technical side of RPG Maker, and specifically because some of the judges were wanting to use controller. I'll just out judges. No, I won't out specific
Okay,
judges.
I'll out myself. I have a sore arm, and it was wreaking havoc on my arm to use some controllers in certain games, and yeah, I just wanted to use a controller, and it was not a controller, so I was struggling.
And I
was
think
struggling.
I think it's a good thing for RPG Maker devs to think about. Maybe not for all Game Jam games, but in the future, if you say you're making Attack on Kingdom a commercial game or any other one of your entries for this jam, a commercial game, thinking about controller support, because I think we've got enough. Well, even scripters, if scripters could get onto some nice, controller support scripts and stuff, because some people you just want to use the controller so you don't get the carpal tunnel, or you don't activate the existing carpal tunnel or tennis elbow or whatever it is.
My tennis elbow.
Yeah, poor tennis elbow. But yeah, no, it's a good thing to think about. But I love this game. It was a lot of fun. As you can see, there's a lot of character in the visuals and stuff, and very fun game. Very fun game.
It was very cute. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It was very cute, and it was fun once you got into a jive with it.
Yeah, very bullet time. Very bullet time.
I'm
Yeah.
terrible.
Other recommendations. I did Attack on Kingdom. Maybe we'll go around in a showy cool. Who was last? What's it been? It's been me. We went
It's been
me,
me,
Nova.
Yeah.
Okay, Nova.
I think we all have.
Okay.
Wait, what? Oh, me again?
Yeah, we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We'll just keep going around, I guess.
Okay. Then I got one that stuck out to me. It did not win any awards, but I do think it's worth looking at because I remember playing it, and I remember walking away from that game thinking, okay, this dev has got some good ideas, but you just need a little bit more time in the oven, a little more like understanding of how the process works. And for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat just to save Stoic some time. That was The Stars Are Gone. So
Okay.
that one, you're not going to see a whole lot from the screenshots, but
Yes.
there was a lot more going on in the game. So basically, the story was one that I thought was a really interesting one, which is it touches upon themes of evolution and where you are in the world, and how much of an influence you should be able to have in it. So I'm a bit of a fan of Shin Megami Tensei games, and I feel like, I don't want to make any assumptions here, but I feel like the dev is as well, because it touches on a lot of the same type of story beats as an SMT game. So you have your party members, and they all have different ideas about what to do at the end of the world. And as you continue on, you listen to their stories and their reasonings, and eventually a time's going to come, I'm not going to spoil it, but a time's going to come when events happen and you, the player, have to make your own decision as well, not just them. So it starts off as an uneasy alliance and then devolves into again, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this without spoiling, but play it yourself.
Right.
Because they do bring it, they do bring their ideals forward in a very strong way. But there were a lot of things that held it back to me. Like it didn't look all that great to me. The level design was very bare. The gameplay had the battle system had some really cool ideas. Character skills were varied, and I think really suited the characters themselves. Because normally, when you think of a party-based RPG, like characters all have like roles to fulfill, and that can seem that way here. But they all have skills that tie directly into their personalities as well, not just their roles as a class. And for me, that's always going to score more points.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of moving parts in this game, and I think there was a lot of friction that prevented it from really coming together. But I walked away from it wanting to keep track of this dev because I knew they had the cool ideas, they had the heart, they had the spark. They just need more refinement, and I'm all on board for that.
Yeah. It would be nice on the page if there was a bit more information because
Yeah,
I don't know what it
would be.
looks like.
That's one reason why I wanted to kind of shout it out because you're not going to get a lot. I did far more advertising than the game page ever did. But, yeah.
Put screenshots on your
I
page,
completely
devs,
get
please.
that. But
Yeah.
advertising and marketing is also another skill that we have to learn as devs, and that's just another one that held this game back because I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't play it. But
Yeah, that's
one of the great things about being a judge for these. Like you don't let marketing hold you back. You have to play the games.
You
And
must.
because of that, you come across some games that had some really cool ideas that would have gone overlooked.
Yeah, they had
And I
one
feel like it
screenshot
would
of
have been a
4
shame that
characters
this was
without.
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but it is one of those games, and marketing is a skill that you need to learn.
Yes. Nice. I forgot who went first, Liberty or Hawk, for the next game.
I did. So.
Liberty. Let's go, Liberty.
Oh no, I mean I already did mine because I did smoke break.
Oh right, you did.
Yeah.
Oh okay.
I
Hawk
did
then.
too. So
I went first on the
you
second
did.
round.
Yeah,
Just
beyond
give my
yes.
turn to Liberty. Sure, whatever.
Okay, Liberty
I'll take
third
it.
time. No,
I got a lot of things. No.
Hawk, what about you? What's a good pick for you?
Another one that stuck out to me was Richard Can't Win.
Oh yes.
And
Oh.
I think it was a combination of the aesthetic and like I'm a fan of adventure games, so it's had kind of that feel to it where you had to puzzle things out and had to kind of solve situations to move forward, and it had the same kind of aesthetic as like old kind of King's Quest sort of games, which I used to play with my dad, so it had like a little bit of a nostalgia feel for me too. But I just really, actually, the puzzles were fun. The story was hilarious. I really like this one a lot.
It was really good. Yeah.
It was just short.
Yes, I remember I was playing it, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was unfinished.
I was actually upset that it stopped.
Yeah, I was too. I was one of the. I mean, yeah, I think we all played this one. It was cute. It was fun. It was weird. It's one of the more wacky entries. It's got interesting ideas, and then it just finishes, which is, I think, maybe one of the reasons, maybe why it didn't go fully. If it had an ending that really delivered on all its themes and all its cuteness and all its amazingness, it might have scored higher. But I feel like it was kind of truncated, which is fair enough. It's got a lot of lovely stuff in it, interesting stuff, weird stuff, and the graphics, of course, are a draw because it's an interesting style. But yeah, Richard Can't Win. Funny name for a game too. It's good to have a good name for a game. Yeah.
Quite literally too, because it's incomplete, so you literally cannot win.
You can't. Yeah. This is a good. So for example, good joke here. Lies is the name of the company. Lacertian Investment Equity and Security with a little lizard icon. I'm like, just funny little jokes like that. I don't know. It was quite funny, cute little game. And then you go to do a battle, and then it turns out to be like a dance type thing. It's just like really weird, but great. I liked it. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I think they must have just run out of time to do what they wanted to do in full, because then they're like, and then it ends, full version coming soon, which, scoping. Scoping's a thing. It's quite difficult to scope a game. We can talk about some more games, or if anyone has anything particular they want to talk about other than specific games, we can go about the big winners if we wanted to, or go by category prizes.
Yeah, I think we were going to go
Yeah,
up
sure.
the list. So
Yeah.
so start with
Okay.
best use of theme, end up with the grand prize winner.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Should we answer this question by Cat Weasel first? It actually does theme on. It's on theme
Whoa,
because
that
we're
is
about
a
to go
question.
best use of theme. Yeah, I think we might. It might be good to. Maybe we will sort of, answer questions as we go if we feel. Anyway, this was by Cat Weasel. Question: what do you think about the theme? It feels really open-ended to me, not necessarily in a good way. It's hard to know what the expectations are that the player comes in with. Perhaps you have to establish expectations before you can exceed them, which is difficult in the allotted time. I feel like it invites gimmicks, which isn't necessarily making the games better. I feel like a theme should constrict while still allowing creativity. Beyond expectations doesn't really do that, in my opinion. It was Cat Weasel. Thank you for your question, Cat Weasel. Anyone want to jump on that one?
Yeah, I can definitely.
Oh.
Okay.
I think we all can.
Yeah.
We all had opinions on the thing.
Yeah, we all definitely had opinions. We were talking about that a lot too.
Yeah, we did talk a lot about it. I think when I first saw it, I was like, oh, ugh, no, don't like that. But it grew on me the more I saw people interpret it through their own games
Yeah.
and realize, hey, this could actually, this does have more application than initially thought because it's such a wide and weird theme that so many people took it in their own different direction. So it was interesting to see how people regurgitated. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the right word, but that works as good as any. But yeah, and initially it looked like a very weird and hard to place theme, but there were so many different iterations of it to come out of the event. Like, yeah, we got a lot of people that just had one-liners of "This was beyond expectation."
Yeah.
But there were so many other ways that it was interpreted that was really cool, honestly. Just so many different ways. I'll let someone else take it through.
For example, I think we can probably best answer that question by talking about the games that hit the best use of theme. We just kind of talk about how they did it, and then just be like, hey, here are some good examples. But for me personally, if I were to give more of a broad answer, it's always worth remembering that this is a game development contest, not necessarily a writing contest, not necessarily an art contest. So if you want to think about expectations, the first thing I would think about is how would you integrate that as a mechanic in your games? And then build the rest of your game on top of that. Now, for some game genres, that's going to be more difficult. Like if you were making just a straight up visual novel, that probably wouldn't work as well. But again, that was a choice that some devs could make. So it's I agree that it's very open ended, but in a way that just opens it up for creativity. But just remember this is a game development contest. How can you make a good game using this theme? Not necessarily tell a good story. That can help, but that should not be your only source of inspiration for the theme. Just take the phrase and then approach it from as many different angles as you can. Remember, integrating the theme just makes it a valid entry. So there were some people, I remember reading some messages. Some people were afraid that their entry would not actually be valid because they were just like, well, is this really something that would go beyond the judges' expectations, especially if the judges have been around for a while and they've seen everything? But that shouldn't really matter at that point because you're making if you're integrating it as a game mechanic, then there you go. You got it.
Yeah, I felt like there were several ways in which the games tackled the theme of Beyond Expectations, and I think one of them was go beyond the judges' expectations or beyond the players' expectations by providing an experience that is not traditionally seen in a game, which is usually the meta stuff. Obviously, there's the Stanley Parable, point beyond the screen, fourth wall breaking type stuff, and then there's the stuff where you establish an expectation within the game that a character or something has or society has. And I think the highest scoring games in that category were the ones that integrated it with the gameplay mechanics to provide a central gameplay mechanic that centered around expectations as a theme. And actually, our two highest scoring, well, the first and second place winner games did this. Because I guess it might be pulling back the curtain a little bit. We weren't nominating for the category prizes the first and second place. For example, Bureaucrats and Dine and Dungeon would have got nominations for several of the category games, I think. I don't think it's beyond, to say that, but I think because they did really well in theme, for example, they set expectations of like, hey, this is how many orders or whatever you have to get, and then like, it was a central gameplay thing that there was expectations and a way to go beyond them, and even maybe a way to go to not meet them and a way to just merely meet them. So I think that was the understanding. If you have a theme and a jam, it doesn't have to. The best way probably to get points is by integrating it as a gameplay mechanic. I think that's probably one of the easiest. Well, not one of the easiest, but it's one of the most. It means you've put some thought into it as a central idea. Yeah. We'll go to the.
Can
Sorry.
I leave my thoughts there? Because I
Sure.
was the one who thought of the theme.
Blame
Yeah.
Nessie.
So, okay, as you guys know, I play so many games and I wanted to feel
I
something.
appreciate the feedback and hard work you all have
And
done
I
to
was
reach.
like,
Thank you for giving
and I
many of
was
these
like,
entries a shot.
RPG Maker people can be very creative. And I wonder, within the time limit, where we have this, what's the word for it? Deadline. How would people create a game within this deadline that is beyond expectation, right? So, for example, in a jam game, I would usually expect a freaking arcade game. Usually, it's like a roguelike. You shoot pew 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 stuff like most of the time in another game jams. And I was just like, with an engine like RPG Maker, what can people make for us that is beyond expectation? So there is like the make the meet. What's it? The bug thing, the puzzle one surprised me. I was like, damn, it's very hard to design puzzle games, but that went beyond my expectation. Even I was having a hard time. I think it was like Benny's favorite. The other one was like, I was surprised when people try to make games like Neo Malta, where people are trying to go beyond like what they can usually do or aim for a charm. It doesn't have to be like in a gameplay narrative or something standpoint. I feel like just by having the virtue of the deadline and going beyond like what you would expect from a jam game is what makes it a good theme for me.
Yeah, true. And I think the main thing is trying to find the whole thing is trying to find a way to communicate to the judges that it's obvious and also clever. So that is a skill in itself, and that I think is where the points come from, is thinking about it. It's like a lot of thinking about it and thinking about how you're going to communicate to the judges that you have thought about the theme in quite a reasoned way, and that you have centralized it within the concept of your game, and that it's not just an afterthought. And that's part of the creative thinking that we want to have for these jams. So it's it's good.
Yeah, communicating it clearly and with intention.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we can just go into these best use of theme to show exactly the games that we thought did do that. So, who wants to talk about Exceed Success? I think maybe in particular it was me and Nova who were voting for this one. Wasn't it? Do you want to go, Nova, or do you want me to go talk about this one?
All right, sure. So Exceed Excess, that was one that I thought was really interesting because it took that theme into consideration for the game mechanics, like I mentioned before. So it was one of those situations where the whole story was trying to exceed what's what I'm looking for? Like exceed the limits that the characters are putting on themselves, because journeys are stressful. And this game made that integrated that with mechanics that made it very literal, with, as you're seeing right there, excesses. And then more you get a bunch of minor excesses by completing certain tasks that each character can only do. And then the more you do them, they'll build up, and then you get permanent debuffs. And then because the main characters are a husband and wife pair, the idea of sharing those debuffs, sharing those excesses, really helps sell the idea that they are, a husband and wife pair. So trying to make decisions while trying to hold on to your own ethics was something that I definitely did not see a lot of in these kinds of games. So for me, that's why it integrated the theme in both story, gameplay, and in characterization. That's why it got the vote from me.
Yeah, it was so central to everything about the game. Like the mechanics are about these two people that need to exceed expectations, but I liked the unique take of it that when you exceed, you spend yourself. So it's like almost like a negative version of exceed. Another game did that. That was 9 to 5. That was also nominated, wasn't it? The idea that sometimes when you exceed expectations, you also spend of yourself and you hurt yourself in the process. And so it's like, you have to sparingly exceed expectations because it's not always. I thought it was a very clever and very central gameplay mechanics, implementation of the exceed expectations thing, to the point where, like you said earlier, I think it was I forgot who said it. If it weren't for the theme, it would fall apart because it's so central to the idea of the entire game. It's like built off the idea. And because the theme is 30% of the whole grade, it should be a theme that might be, you need to think about it a lot and make it very central to the whole thing. So this is where I think maybe the reason why I didn't get a first or second placement or something in the high is because some of the gameplay irritated me.
Yeah, to add to that, I do agree. I think that it did a very excellent job of incorporating that beyond expectations sort of aspect in the gameplay and the story, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with Benny in that the gameplay itself, it was less than enjoyable in practice.
Yeah, it was infuriating to me.
Ambition, but yeah.
Yeah, I gave it very high.
There's a reason why it was nominated for this theme.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Liberty.
I was just going to double down and say, yeah, it provided the theme on point. It's just that it had a lot of things to it that weren't like as
A lot
well
of rough
rounded.
patches.
Yeah, it wasn't. I like to feel like I'm winning.
Yeah, it was
And
very
I felt
punishing.
like I was losing every moment I took in
Punishing
the game. So I'm like,
indiscriminately too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like it felt like sometimes you couldn't strategize. I think that's what I was feeling.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
even
it
if,
just
way,
kind of
it-
forced you into a corner, and it's like, okay, you have to pick something bad. You can't. I mean, you don't really get much of a choice of what bad thing's going to happen to you until later on, when you can kind of pick and choose. Okay, you can swap it between this person and that person, but you had to wait till the end of the area or at a save point before you could do that.
yeah.
even then it felt a bit icky to have to do that. Because
Yeah.
I like to feel like I'm winning. There's no winning.
It was very and
I mean, when you're trying to make these kinds of statements, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I
you
keep
go.
Yapping. Sorry.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
go. Yeah, I'd like you to
Okay.
talk.
All right. Well, I was just thinking, like, when you bouncing off of what Liberty said, it was like, yeah, I like to feel like I'm winning. It's like, yeah, we all like to feel like we're winning. But I always respect games that try to push a different kind of narrative.
Right.
It's like when you try to do something different, whether or not you succeed, like that's up to interpretation. But I feel like this game was trying to make a statement just as much as it was trying to make a good game, and I definitely appreciate that. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like it's the best game ever. No, of course not. But when you go off and try to do something that involves making the best that you can with what you've got, yeah, I think that's a pretty strong theme. That's always worth exploring.
Yeah, it was a good game jam entry. I feel it was very ambitious. I feel like it was almost the thing I'd like to give to it is that it's experimental to the point where I don't really know any games like this, and maybe they will. It's fun to create a game and figure out whether it works or not and where it works. And I think that's part of the cool thing about experimental games is it's like, oh, you don't know whether it's going to work before unless you try it. And then you try it and you go, well, this worked, this didn't work, and then you can like iterate on the formula. So I feel like it was in that way. But it was just things like, dodging mechanics and putting things under time pressure and buying things but not knowing why and all this, it kind of it was a little bit anti-strategy for me, but like the theme, it was like I was very happy that it was very on theme because I was like, well, it's nice, refreshing to have that. But we can move on to another one unless someone wants to bring. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
It's just like one last thought. I know I keep yapping a lot. I'm sorry about that, but
No, yap away.
The nature
yap
of
away.
experiments is like sometimes experiments can fail, and I think that's perfectly fine. And
Yeah.
I think a game jam is a perfect time and situation to try experimental games like this.
Yep.
So I'm always cool to see that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Agree
absolutely.
100%.
Yep. Also, this talk is for yapping, so yap away. We love the yapping. Yeah, and we have Dechi, 9 to 5, Meistermon, and Eden Drive. Dechi was number 3rd ranking in the scores as well. Oh, they've added stuff. New things on the way. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It did feel like
neat.
this was a nice little demo for expansion because like it was quite simple in the way that it was presented.
You put in the
but
symbols there. Well.
yeah. Yeah, actually, somewhat. Yeah, you can talk about that if you want the symbols.
I was gonna say because one thing that I like to do on streams is like I try to push colorblind accessibility to the point where I'm not looking at the chat on the stream right now, but I know there's somebody in there that's groaning because I do that quite a lot. And one of the things I remember noting for this game in particular was that one of the mechanics of that game was the main screen would start flashing a certain color whenever something was about to go wrong, and you had to navigate to this screen to push the corresponding color. And I thought to myself, people with colorblind issues, they're
Yeah.
not going to be able to tell the difference between the colors.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and I remember mentioning it when I highlighted on stream, I was like, add some symbols or make the shading of those colors in such a way that anybody could differentiate them. And looks like that choice was already made.
Yeah, it's great choice. They listened to. Actually, this developer was in all of our streams.
Yeah.
I think they popped in and out of streams. Thank you to this developer. It's nice to have to be part of the community. It can really help with things like that. You hear feedback and then you implement it. And it's really nice to see. This was another one of those games that sort of shocked us with in terms of theme of. I think on double level because one of the things was like, as your character, you are playing a game and then it gets haunted, so it's kind of going beyond your player character's expectations of I was gonna play this little cute not cute, it was actually the intro was quite an ugly looking RPG Maker game with all these glitches and stuff.
Well,
and
that
it
was
like,
the expectations that it was trying to set, and then
Yeah,
suddenly, boom.
yeah, they're like, psych, that's not the game you're playing. You're playing this game, and that was already beyond
Doesn't land
expectations.
as well when you look at the game page first, though. But luckily, as judges, we look at the game itself, not necessarily the marketing behind it.
Yeah, and then what happens? Another additional layer of beyond expectations would be they claim, and this was an interesting claim that we had to figure out. It had no plugins, and
Yeah,
obviously-
that was a rough one. Validate.
I think Liberty was less. Liberty knows how to do all this stuff, but a lot of us didn't know how to do a lot of the 3D looking stuff, just using show picture and sprite stuff and all that. But I think Liberty is good enough at deving that she can sort of figure it out. But for a lot of us, it was beyond expectations. Like, no plugins. Surely you had like Yanfly in there or something. I don't know.
I was
Stellar
impressed,
stuff.
but yeah. Yeah, it's all eventing, and it's very impressive, very impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And the cool thing is, there's quite a few here as well. 9 to 5, Meistermon, Eden Drive. I don't think we have the time to go through all of them individually, but 9 to 5, I think it was subverting the theme similar to Exceed Excess, where you give of yourself and your job. I think it was about corporate stuff, and that was very cute. Very cute little game. And then there's Meistermon, beyond expectations. Maybe so Liberty or someone can talk about how it was beyond, but it was unexpected how they used the Pokemon iconography.
Well, the
Oh, look at that on the
expectations.
top left, an expectations meter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
expectation. I
You have
forgot
to
about
be
that.
good.
Yes. I forgot about
And you
that.
had to exceed it.
Yes, and you have to
Yeah.
exceed it. So that's like a very obvious and clear
Mm.
way that the gameplay is centralized around an expectations bar. That it's actually one of the easiest ways to get points in the theme is to have this. Is probably what I think Liberty was saying. Hey, why not just
Gameplay.
you could just get
Yeah.
easy theme points by having something like this in your game. That's like, hey, it's an expectations bar. Both of the top winning entries had something like that. Yeah. And then Maestrom on Eden Drive. Oh, Eden Drive is very. This is a nice one to talk about. Ranked quite highly. You had to. It's spoiler alert, but it's not. It's probably more of a draw to the game because you won't know it by looking at it. But they force you to edit like JSON files and actual files within your folders to solve puzzles, and they do it in actually quite interesting ways. Even if me being a puzzle head, I don't like when they tell you the answer, but but yeah, it's a lot. Some of them in particular, there was a few like this. There's like No Hacks. There's different ones. I don't want to spoil too many of them, but No Hacks was one in particular. No Hacks kind of told you all the answers, but I did like it. No Hex itch.io. I was almost like, please don't tell me all the answers to that.
Right?
What's that? Yes,
I was going to say
yes.
you're put into positions of hackers, and so editing JSON files is a very nice and clever way to implement that.
True. Yeah, yeah. It was very on. These games were quite. These were more of the ones where they put things in your folders and files, and they were quite clever with the way they did that. Yeah, so that was another classification of like. Oh, thank you for the sub, Narcotis. But yeah, that was another classification of that theme. Anyone else want to talk about theme, or should we go on to narrative?
Well, I've got nothing to add.
Yeah. Dream is Dead was also a great Beyond Expectations game. It was very surprising at every turn. Yeah. Debug menu, more of that sort of stuff. Best narrative. Oh, there were some good narratives in this jam. Some really good narratives. There's some here that I still think about. Moonlit Blessed won Best Narrative. Well done. Moonlit Blessed is just a beautiful looking visual novel. That there's gorgeous graphics as well. I think the two visual novels, like hardcore visual novels without anything out. Well, this is more of a narrative adventure because you walk around, but it is a visual novel. Masaki and Moonlit Blessed seem very much in a similar sort of vein, and they were both very beautiful. But they had slightly, or maybe even heavily different focuses once you get into them because they're very different in flavor. They have similar themes too, AKS as well, and they're both very beautiful. And I think particularly depending on your like personality, you might go towards one or the other. But I think if you love visual novels, you should play both of these. I am probably a little bit more swaying towards the Masaki kind of person, but then there's other judges here who are more of the Moonlit Blessed kind of person. And I think it's just lovely to have these two entries in particular in here. I sound very familiar. No, thank you. I'm glad to sound familiar, Bloodweave. Yeah, anyone have anything to say, particularly maybe about these two games, or Moonlit, and maybe we'll just go Moonlit first, or or how narrative and how it affected you, or in general.
So I enjoyed the narrative for Moonlit Blessed just because it puts you in the position of the not hero, where nobody really cared about you, and yet you still had and yet your actions had just as much, if not more, sway than the actual heroes. And I always appreciated that because it shows like the hero is not often the most interesting or most important character in a story. And by following the companion, it proves that.
Yeah, it's true. It's got lots of gorgeous visuals, and even in both of these, the one thing that here's one thing. Okay, I don't know if everyone else agrees with it. I think you will, but like games that had a lot of gorgeous art, but then they use the default windows and fonts and sounds,
Mhm.
that kind of takes
Mhm.
away from it sometimes. I'm not. I'll point out. I point out one. One is what's the road one? Stoic. The beautiful is. It's a beautiful one. It's somewhere else in here.
Road to Another Life?
Road
To the Next Life?
Life. This is. I love the art in this game, but it does see. Look, it does do the, standard font and such. It's very beautiful art in this. Amazing looking art. I love it.
Yeah.
But it just had the default sounds a lot of the time and windows, and that sometimes took me out of the. Yeah, it's not a massive takeaway, but it can be something that you can sort of see the default gauge, and so it's something that you can customize. And I think particularly with Road to the Next Life, if they polish it up, maybe a custom message box and font like for Masaki and Moonlit, that it does look very beautiful, especially because they took a lot of the time to look into like the UI and how it appears and all this sort of stuff. Very cute, very lovely. I know that's not fully narrative, but the narrative is hard to show because a lot of it is beyond what we see here in these screenshots. Masaki in particular, I like there was a lot to think about with Masaki, I'll say. It stuck with me as a parable of like what we owe to our surroundings and our family, but also what we owe to ourselves and balancing that. I really loved those themes about it and the cute characters, but like there was a looming sense of unease to this that really stuck with me, because there's just something about it that was looming over, like a spiritual sort of quality to it. I wouldn't say it's quite, Lynchian, but it almost kind of gets to that sort of in-between place for me where it's like, oh, there's something here underneath, in between the cracks here that's even slightly disturbing. And I quite like that. Another one in the nominations that felt like that, but more obviously, is Kana, obviously. And that's a favorite for many. And I mean, Kana, my beloved, let's go. I love Kana.
That was
EXE.
mine.
Yeah, now who's
Thief?
the simp?
Yeah, I simp for Kana
That
too.
was
yeah.
mine.
Oh yes, that's you as well. You want to talk about Kana? Actually, okay, you can talk about Kana if you'd like.
Oh, before that, I just find it really funny how the best narratives in this jam, they're so similar.
Yeah,
Because like even when Nova was like, "Oh yeah, the main character in this game is not the main character," it was just like, you know what's funny? That's even Masaki.
yeah,
So I was so surprised how similar they were. I was just like, this is very interesting.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, even Axel actually.
Then
It's funny that.
what are the chances, right?
Yeah, true.
Um, so it's like different flavors of like who is now you are not the hero of like what type you are not the hero story you like. But with Kana that EXE, I was really surprised to see a Humanity like game,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like simping about it, right? I know, but I know I make fun of Nova, but I'm not immune
Mm-hmm.
to
Oh
simping
yeah,
for a
we're all
developer.
simps in some way or shape or form. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
the,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just the punching bag for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because like you put Copper Knight on everything, and I was like, this guy, he really knows this game.
Mm.
But like, there's also for Kana, what I like about it is that it's technically not a Humanity game, but it's like it presents itself like that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then it goes on the almost ARG feeling that you get when you watch those kind of things, like from what's his name again, the Night Guy, or like this is an advertisement about a bear. It has the same energy as that. And if you did the ARG games and you played them and you hear the soundtrack and like the presentation, they are exactly the same. I was kind of surprised to see that from a
Mm.
game jam. So I really like Kana. Made me use my brain. I
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
for the endings.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stop
Mm-hmm.
thinking
Wait, there
now. I'm
were
sorry.
multiple endings.
There's two. Yeah,
Were
There were two. I only got one.
there?
Well,
yeah,
that was when my
So
hour came out. But
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So for the endings, right? There was supposed to be another ending when you get the retribution thing in the blog post, but they didn't have time. The other ending is that either you go back to the Kotokon dream world or you go back to real life. And you have
Mm-hmm.
different results based on that. It took me a while to figure it out. I was like melting on stream. I was like, where
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. Kana gave me
I'll
a
have to
lot
look
of.
up the other
Okay.
ones because I didn't see how I could have gotten any other ending. That's interesting.
it was just very slight things. I think for me in particular, Kana's rumination on internet celebrity, lost media, and like message boards, old message, private messages between people, and how we misunderstand each other, and like how people reach, that we've seen it before, where people completely retreat from online presence and delete all their stuff and go, I'm not going to be part of the internet anymore. And then people who still want to revive those things. It's like, I've seen this before, I've seen all of this, but it was very haunting in a certain way, because it's like the obsession that someone, I don't know, people have different reads on it. This was my read, I guess. It's vague enough but specific enough, I feel, that people will get some sort of like very tactile view on certain things, and then other things are quite vague and left up to interpretation. And that's what I quite liked about it, is that it had a good balance of things, that it left me thinking about it for the weeks ahead of it. I'm like looking back at it going, was that actually what they were meaning by that, or was this that, so that was the narrative part about Kana that really stuck with me big time.
Also,
I
just for
really
those
see
that are wondering about that
Sorry.
in chat, yeah, that is actual in-game. Benny is not using Windows XP.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
really like the scrolling.
I was going to bring that up. I was like, yeah, you can't put, whoever put that on the description is like, yeah, that's how you win most
Boring.
innovative gameplay. Make a good scroll wheel.
Yeah, for
It's
innovative.
also
I
like
just
if
love
you
digging
don't
for
have
answers.
easy games. Sorry.
Oh, no,
I just
sorry,
want to
just
also.
saying. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I also wanted to bring up the lazy games, because like when Benny was talking about like the obsession, I was just like, yeah, it's very obsessive, right? Because like they're retrieving an entire girl's blog for some reason. They're like super simps
Yeah.
for this one girl.
Yeah. And all she was doing was just like,
Holy
hey,
crap, that's
hey,
a reference I
people.
didn't expect to hear here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's very interesting in the way that it explores that, and it still keeps in my mind, and very, very impressive. And then, of course, Axel as well is cast of really cute characters, and they very lovely and happy. And I think it's funny, as I got to the hour mark, I got to a point where it just hit a beat that I was like, oh, that was a very nice beat. It was in the bar with the, yeah, I won't spoil it too much, but when they're sitting in the bar, I'm like, now it's starting to warm up for me, It didn't really quite warm up for me in the hour up until then, but then like at the end of my hour, it's like, oh, the story's starting to warm up for me. It really is kind of, hitting its stakes, I like when it has conflict and stakes to really care about, and I think that's where Axel really started to warm up for me.
Oh,
yeah.
If just to go back to Masaki, and Moonlight Blessed, I hate visual novels.
Yeah.
I liked these two, so that's a ringing endorsement. Just so you know, especially Masaki. Masaki made me cry.
Yeah.
Now that's not a great thing because I cry at the drop of a hat, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It hits the emotional beats.
Yeah.
There, that's all I needed to say.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, you don't.
Also,
be sorry.
Scroll wheel, my beloved.
Scroll wheel, my beloved. All right, let's go on to innovative gameplay, actually. Yeah, Kano got the innovative gameplay, and I think that is somewhat obvious when you start to play it. They have the outer sort of layer of the OS that you can navigate. It was actually I think it might be one of the slickest operating systems in a game. I've seen the way that you sort of click around and you go into an image editor and you change the, you export and you do all this fun stuff. So it was like, especially in at least an RPG Maker game, it's extreme because you actually click on the things, and I don't think they have too many of those in RPG Maker games. But
the gameplay impressed me a lot in that one. Like especially with the scroll wheel. That I think I can't remember if I was like surprised by it on stream, but it's just the fact that it works. Like, holy crap, what?
And it works well.
Yeah.
I've played thousands of RPG Maker games. I'm not even joking. Literally in the thousands. And I was so impressed by the simple act of scrolling through a website on this game that it's become my clarion call for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, downloading attachments and doing, I think it was the vast array of things that you do within the operating system, and then you interact with the game with the knowledge you have outside, and then you go back and forth between them. That was quite free, and then you look at videos and change the opacity. It was just like all those different functions. To me is why I particularly nominated it, because there's so much to it, and that's very surprising to me. It's not really my traditional gameplay experience that I see. Yeah.
Yeah, like much like Liberty with visual novels, I am not a fan of Yume Nikki-like games, and I loved Kana EXE.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
same.
that's not a ringing endorsement, there you go.
Yeah, I think because
We both buddy.
yeah. Other innovative gameplay: Cognition Optional, Meet the Box, Copper Knight, and Dreamer's Dead. Yeah, these are all very.
That's there. Have we talked about that one yet?
I think we might have mentioned it at some point.
Yeah.
Just touched on it a little bit.
Cognition Optional was great. I love this one.
Oh god, I loved it.
Can I just say
this-
that Norris is so good at making arcade games?
Oh,
I'm
100%.
surprised at
Oh,
what this
God,
man can
yes.
do. He's so good. I'm so
I've never
jealous.
played a game of his that I did not like. Ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Creator Buffet Night, notably, and also the one
Yes.
of the soundtrack for the creator for the Buffet Night commercial version is here as well. Call me DJ in chat, so thank you for that. It's amazing. Now this is an absolute freak dev. Call me DJ says, yeah, I do love Buffet Night. That was for the Touch the Stars jam, I believe, and then it's been created into a commercial published by GGG. And what was that, sorry?
I think it's Komodo. Komodo the publisher.
Oh, Komodo the
And
publisher.
then I
Okay.
called him.
Ah, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I called the Buffet Night like a grape Kirby.
Oh yeah, Kirby, yeah,
Kirby.
great Kirby. Yeah. Buffet Night was beautiful. Basically the idea of this game, the innovative gameplay part was you change the options to get through puzzles. So if someone is speaking way too slow, you make it faster. All these sorts of things, and it's sort of introducing these one by one. Even if I feel like sometimes maybe one of the reasons why I brought it back a bit is because some of the solutions were a little linear for me, but I do like that they used everything in turn. I think the final boss is the best part, where you kind of have to visually see the clues of what you need to do next, and then you have to actually think about it. It's very, very clever. The final boss in particular, I feel. The rogue computer. And also, condition optional, amazing game. Now it's also these devs that bring out banger after banger. They're very consistent. And I think Nowis is very is banger. Yeah, like a consistent dev. Also, my beloved Meet the Box. Everyone in Judge's chat knows that I love this game. I think some people have a hard time with this game, which is understandable, but this is right down my alley, as in I won't open Liberty's one, I'll open my one.
I was about to say, how long did it take you to beat that game?
It was around 12 minutes,
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's just because I love these types of games, and I guess maybe it's because I make puzzle games, I recognize the patterns. I'm like, oh yeah, that's obviously this, that, but it might be hard. And also it did have some contentious stuff about its design, particularly Roman numerals, but I think that can be changed in the future. This is also, the dev doesn't really make games that I can see of. If I go to their page, they just made this, and this was a joke game, a political game actually, about something that happened. So this is their first published game on itch that's it's very high quality for I don't know if they've done anything else, but and they didn't respond to and I'm a simp. They didn't respond to me. They seem to be from Korea, I think. So I don't know how. Yeah, but basically, I want to get in touch with him because I'm a simp. But basically, this is a great game. I love the puzzles, and I love the way that it's visually. They did all the scripting for the game as well. All the scripts are custom, so it's very impressive to me. They did this thing also, snapshot, so you can press S and then you can drag and drop and then create a screenshot of a particular part of the game, and then it stores it here, which they coded themselves, which is very impressive.
That was super impressive, I will admit.
Oh,
Whether
yeah.
or not I was a fan of the puzzles of the
really
game, that was impressive as hell.
I think puzzle games
like
in
barring
general.
one puzzle
yeah.
solution, I felt like such a genius whenever I figured something out, like unprecedented. Like I could feel my brain expanding in real time whenever I solved the puzzle.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, there's a number. What is that number? Wait, the box. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think also with a game like this, it highlights, with the judges in particular, it highlights the idea that non-linearity in a puzzle game is often a good thing. It's hard because, like, with a puzzle game, by definition, it's if you can't pass it, or if you can't think the specific way that the puzzle designer is going, well, you can't progress unless, like, you have 3 different ways that you can go, or something, or maybe even 5 or something, and then you can, like, well, I'm stuck here, let me try this other puzzle or something, and that makes it a bit more tolerable. Or if there's a hint system or something where the only thing that you're spending as currency is your dignity. A lot of games nowadays have that sort of hint system if you want it, and that would be actually a good.
Some don't have dignity.
It would be a good addition here if you H for hint, and then you have like a progressive set of like 5 hints for each puzzle or something, and then you expand it to like 30 puzzles, and then you sell it, and I'll buy it immediately. I'll be the first in line. Innovative gameplay. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Dream is Dead as well for innovative gameplay. I love this.
Yeah.
The use of the debug menu was genius. I don't care what anybody says. I love that. That was like my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, I care
I'll
what
give
you
it
say,
that.
and I agree.
Yeah.
Like much like Eden Drive and No Hack, like using like gameplay systems, like messing with the game itself to progress is a genius idea, and I loved it.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is Lumi and Call Me DJ. Great game. And very surprising. Yeah, like you have to use the debug menus in very surprising ways. One thing about it is this would not be very accessible as a commercial game unless it was refined, because not everyone knows how to use the debug menu, and it's very niche. But I guess you could learn. But it's not easy. It's not for those who
Well,
aren't
it shows you
familiar.
how. Just like, yeah, here, open up the debug menu once you get the key.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But it does show all the variables, including ones, and that's part of the puzzle, is that it also shows you variables that are not, they don't do anything, because they are just the variables that the developer used to make the game. Or at least maybe they might do stuff that's secret. There are secrets, apparently, that you can unlock. But yeah, this is a very, very surprising game. They have the dead switch, which is hilarious. Yeah, and just like very interesting. It wasn't always absolutely clear, and there was actually several approaches to a puzzle, because, like, for example, I'm going to spoil one of the puzzles. Well, not fully, but there's a one where you have to pay to get across a bridge, right? And and then Riggy goes and uses climb wall to climb over the river. He didn't pay to get across the bridge. So, yeah, there's several ways around each puzzle. So I'm like, oh, it's very surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, it allows for creativity in approaching different situations.
Yes. Call Me DJ says, I want to have the gimmick be editing JSON files, but Lumi pushed the debug menu. Dad Dead was also Lumi's idea. In general, Lumi was the secret source behind this game. The way he thinks and comes up with ideas really pushed me outside my comfort zone. Fun fact, doing stuff like bypassing the toll triggers a different ending. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Wow. Cool to have the dev.
So we got our ending. So if you guys played the game, then go back and play it again.
Yeah.
By you guys, I mean people in chat.
Yes, this was Lumi was.
And I guess the rest of you as well.
Yeah.
Everybody.
We've talked
Go
about
play
Copper
Dream is
Knight,
Dead.
but
It's a
unless
good
you want to point out a couple more things, but we have talked about Copper Knight a little bit, about innovative gameplay.
I mean, do you want to be here for another hour? I can talk.
Yeah, awesome. Visual design.
One thing-
Oh, go.
I'm just gonna say this. One thing to note about Copper Knight had this issue as well, and quite a few that use the same plugin for the for the dungeon-esque crawling aspect, 3D
Yep.
Ultima view, is that
Mhm.
just be warned, with a PlayStation 5 controller, it just automatically just floats up to the roof, and so you're stuck looking at the roof as you try and move around. So
Yeah.
it's good to try on different controllers, because I was very upsetty spaghetti when that happened.
That's almost
The
a note
first
to
time
the
I'm
Now,
like,
script
luckily, it
writer.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, I was gonna say, luckily that didn't happen here because I didn't play Copper Knight with the controller, but there was one other game, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, hey, you need to play this with a controller that used this exact
Yes.
same script. So I did, and
Yeah.
yeah, I had the same problem as Liberty. I was like, oh, jeez,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
there's a
wanted me
roof
to do
there.
this?
Yeah, with my
It was
Xbox
what?
controller, it
I'm
was
sorry?
fine.
Yeah, I think it
But
was
yeah,
just
I
PS5 controllers.
Yeah.
I think so too, because
Yeah,
I have
same
a
here.
Xbox controller I use as well on my computer, and it seemed to be fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
mine
that's
was PS5 was not fine.
that's almost like a note to the script writer for the dungeon crawling stuff, is that they could edit their script to take into account the PS5 controller if they could.
Yes,
Yeah.
but also game devs, try your stuff out on different controllers if you're going to push controller play as an option.
Yes, agreed.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Visual design. Yeah, MV 3D,
Oh, hey, Copper
MC
Knight's on
3D.
there.
Yes. yeah. Up there on the soundtrack. Visual design, Masaki won this one. And Masaki's just gorgeous. It is gorgeous designs and the way it moves and the beautiful. I feel like just thought taken into every part of the visuals of this game. The only I will point out one issue to the devs is as you walk around, there's a little bit of jitter on the pictures, and I don't know how to solve that, but there is a little.
I know how to solve it.
Oh yeah.
But it's like you have to edit the default scripts because it does a
Right.
math round thing,
Oh,
and then it
okay.
ruins pictures. Yeah, it's an RPG Maker problem.
Yeah, because like as you walk around, there's a little bit jitter. But I want to focus on the positives first. Look at these gorgeous, like this shit, and the way that it, it all looks alive. The thing with some of the other ones that had hand painted stuff, it was kind of static, but these have a lot of cute little animations, and the portraits are beautiful, and it's funny because a lot of these they're quite similar, and they could all sort of. Exorcist Trial was beautiful in its own way. Pentacle, who was the next chosen one, UFO Naught, but yeah, this one was very beautiful. We've talked about it a little bit, but just like the animations and this is cute, this is a cute part.
It's so cute.
Yeah, lots of little flourishes. It just felt very rounded in its graphical presentation as well, and it had a vibe. That's also another thing. Moonlit also had this, where when I played it, I just felt at peace. It felt very peaceful, even if there were disturbing things happening behind the scenes. But they were always underneath the peaceful, beautiful scenario that was the setting that was surrounding.
I will note that I may have borrowed the font by looking for it myself. I didn't take it straight from the game file, but there were a few games like that where I was like, "Oh, that's a nice font. I'm just gonna go looking for that. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
But yeah, never underestimate how much good font will make something look so much better. Not that the rest of it didn't look great, though. Just saying, I
Yeah.
appreciate a very nice font.
Same.
Yeah.
Another good reason why you need to include your credits in the games, because
Yes.
yeah, it helps like confirm that you didn't steal the stuff, and it also brings exposure to all the other hardworking asset creators, so that other people who would like to use those assets can go and find them, and supporting them as well.
Yeah, this category was also the most stacked. Like there's so many
Yes.
good-looking games that
There were.
you have to be very
Yeah.
what's the word for it? Nitpicky
Mm.
on which one to win, because it's like, okay, this game looks great, but then the maps are kind of not quite there, and then this game looks great, but now this is a matter of taste. So there was a lot of back and forth about the visuals in this category. I'm not a
Yeah.
judge, but I was there, just like
Yeah.
speaking around. I was just like, I will also say stuff.
Yeah, like even this game here, UFO, not like completely different to Masaki, but also very beautiful in its own way and cute and interesting. And look, you know,
Another
like
one on my
this nice little mini map thing and like round. This the art style's very original, you know, and for an RPG Maker game, it looks quite unique in that sense. And just in the game in general, I should be quite kind in that. But it's like it's yeah, it's very cute and interesting. Um, yeah,
I
and
might
then
have taken its font as well.
yeah,
I'm just
Yeah, that
saying.
one is a good fun.
it's these cute little creatures, and then we got Exorcist Trials, which is very. Someone also mentioned Fifth Hero, but I'll put Exorcist Trials and Fifth Hero. Oh, that's actually movies. Exorcist Trials RPG, Exorcist Trials, and also Fifth Hero. I'll put them in a similar category because they both sort of looked like NES-ish sort of games. Do I not have a Fifth Hero playthrough online? Wait, the Fifth Hero. Oh, it's not RPG Maker, is it? It's Pixel Game.
Yeah, I think it's Pixel Game Maker.
I don't know if it'll
Yep.
appear.
Did you post it on your channel? You can
Maybe
just
not.
search your channel.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe I didn't post on my channel. Ooh, hopefully. But yeah, it's like it looks like someone else will be able to tell what it more looks like. But these two games remind me of old
Mana.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mana. This one
Oh,
looks
wait,
like
no, sorry.
Mana.
Evermore.
Evermore.
Yes. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I got you on the old games. Don't you worry. I'm old.
Very beautiful.
Like you need a proof.
Yeah, and the fact that this wasn't nominated, it does not a slight to it because it's very gorgeous, and then also this is also very gorgeous. Exorcist Trials. It looks like a Castlevania or Metroid. One thing about the visuals, I do think that these look like spikes. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
They're supposed to be maybe rounded edges of the wall or something. I can't quite tell, but they did. I kept
rib
thinking they were
cages.
spikes. Maybe they're rib cages.
Oh,
Yeah.
they look. Were they supposed to be stalagmites or something? And then they just look. I thought they were spikes.
And if you
They're
look
not.
at
I think we all
if
thought
you
they
if you
were.
look at the wall on top of it, it might be. I think it's like the rounded back part of the wall or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell actually.
I think they were supposed to like represent ribs or something.
Ribs, yeah, maybe. Yeah, so it's
Oh, I
like
see.
I think of it like a curved. Yeah, I don't know, but it does look like spikes, and I kept trying to go, don't avoid them, don't avoid them. But it's very beautiful. Like, look at all this pixel art that's very sort of wild.
Oh, this boss battle.
Don't look at my bad gameplay. But also Fifth Hero, I just also want to shouting out Fifth Hero is a good option too because it just looks also quite beautiful there. And also who's the next chosen one? I think I nominated this one. It is quite beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the art is
I-
crazy on that one.
Love the character designs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever designed those characters, they need to be teaching classes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did a
Wow.
great job.
Maybe they already are.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks very
Good. Then where can I sign up?
yeah, it looks very formally well trained, you know, like these are this is like, you know, you'd see it in high commercial art or whatever, you know, like for, you know, actual games. Not actual games, not in that sense, but like it's just like maybe the thing that drew this one back or that held this one back for me was some of the gameplay and story you know, stuff in it wasn't very engaging to me, but I did like the art. The art was very beautiful and obviously, as you can see, stunning. Yeah.
Even the frame and
They are
like the
cartoonies?
framing and stuff like that.
Mm.
So cartoony. Yeah.
No, they're cartoonists. That's literally their job.
Oh, well,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
character
wow.
design concept are cartoonists. Wow. They're stacked.
Well, that totally makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That everything falls into place.
Yeah. It was just the gameplay thing that kind of maybe held it back from me from being like super highly rated, but I did love the way it looked. Yeah. Look at these characters. They're so beautiful. They're so cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
apparently they work with Disney.
Wow. And then Pentacle
Really?
Abyss. Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's look at some Pentacle
Pentacle
They
Abyss.
probably have
Abyss.
classes, bro. Just contact them.
Oh, I think it's fair to say this one, behind the scenes, this entry was held back in scores by Polish because it crashed for quite a few people in the judges thing.
Really?
So, yeah, two of us, I think, got soft lock, so we had to give
Yeah.
0 instead of 10. So,
Yeah.
Same. Yep.
So
Oh, that sucks. I didn't get anything.
yeah. No, I got a soft lock in like when I had 10 minutes left. So it's to do with the
Oof.
I've used this card plugin before. It's a very good plugin, and they've used it and they've customized it to do special stuff. So because I have knowledge of that plugin, they've done a few extra stuff on top of it as well. But they've used the plugin really well, and it's a beautiful plugin, Mythotelier card plugin. But also this art. This was the one. Look at that. The amazing, crazy looking art there, and also on the cards as well. Very, very visually sort of distinct feel to it as well. And the music also helps. The music is quite foreboding and drone. It's like a drone track, I think, that's playing in the background. Quite creepy. And there's some innovative, like, there's this massive creature, and then you just attack each of its eyes and stuff. Really, really, really fun.
Chaos.
Yeah, really, and it's fun too. It's very fun. This was one of my favorite games of the Jam. If it was refined, I'd play a full version. Very, very cute.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It gave me vibes of that card game where you're basically in a cabin with a serial killer whose face
Inscription. There we go. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
Inscription.
Yeah. Inscription. Yeah, absolutely. Another game that gave me Inscription vibes was Hakamika Marken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, is that how it's pronounced? I have no idea. I pronounced it like 7 different ways.
Yeah,
as I was trying
yeah.
to figure it out.
It's it's a crazy. So what? It's a little bit of a spoiler, but it is presented within the first 10 minutes as a card flipping game, but there's something sneaky happening underneath the scene, behind the scenes of like, hey, there's this obsessive character that's watching you do this, and then they're kind of like talking to you, and then it kind of turns dark, and there's dark flashbacks and stuff. So it is very Inscription-y, because Inscription kind of plays with your expectations in that way. So yeah, I love this game, but that's besides the point because it's not nominated, but I just wanted to bring it up. Best soundtrack games. We had a bit of a discussion about this one, but it's cool. We have what's their name? Call Me DJ in the chat, and also they have released this as a original soundtrack. Go give that a download if you'd like. Yeah, Dream is Dead has a great soundtrack. It's not just the final track is very obviously placed as one of the main reasons why some of the judges voted, but also I've watched Riggy play it, and I had more of an appreciation for all the other tracks that happen, which are majority custom tracks by Call Me DJ and Lumi, that are actually very beautiful. I like the entire soundtrack. It's very upbeat and very cute, and then it glitches out as the game does, and then the final. I also like the narrative of this piece. I don't want to spoil too much, but it is a rumination on the dangers of being, of being a game dev.
I think that's something we can all relate to at some point.
For some judges, I think it was too confrontational. Like, I don't want to hear this. This is what I struggled with every day. This is too much of a.
You know what? That's the exact kind of person that needs to finish this game.
Yeah, it's like a confrontation with my weaknesses, but I think liberty is left, but obviously, hopefully not because of what was being discussed, but no, hopefully they join back in. But yeah, Call Me DJ says, like I said earlier, Lumi really pushed me with this OST. I end up corrupting music with a hex editor, writing beta versions of songs you hear before, and obviously that Final Tower theme. Lumi had the bass idea for it and did the lyrics and vocals. I did a YouTube poop of Lumi's recordings and did the underlying musical track. So, yeah, I think Liberty just left. Oh, Liberty's PC reset. She's going to be back soon. There was also importing random files into Audacity as raw data for those glitchy noises. Forgot about that. That's also in here.
Yeah, that's the kind of creativity that we want to see here.
Yeah. The the Dream is Dead. That track I've listened to it outside of the game a few times as well. It's chilling. It's chilling is what I'll say. Yeah, but the rest of the tracks are very on point as well. And we also have The Job. I think maybe I'll wait for Liberty to come back before talking about that. But Apartment 808, creepy atmosphere coupled with a haunting piano melody at the right times just sets the stage perfectly. I'll be honest, this is one that I really loved that maybe some of the other judges didn't love as much as
Was
me.
that another
but
Benny coded game?
It was a game that I gave
welcome
a
back.
higher score than everyone else. But it is a Benny coded game. I think it's because there's a lot of the narrative that goes between the lines. But I honestly forgot the soundtrack. Someone else nominated this for soundtrack. So yeah, very fun. And Copper
Don't
Knight.
talk about it
that one's a
without
really
me.
difficult.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yes, you're back. You're
Sorry.
back. I haven't talked about The Job. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Copper Knight, still can't get the first dungeon theme out of my head. I wonder who wrote that. No.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. We should talk about that a little bit more.
Yes.
Someone. No, yeah, the theme was good, right? I need to re-listen to it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it knew when to be upbeat. It knew when to be quiet. It basically knew how to match the mood. And for me, soundtracks are really difficult to judge when it comes to something like this, because sometimes the best kind of track is something that's in the background and doesn't stick out to you. As long as it helps convey the mood, then it's doing exactly what it's setting out to do.
Mm.
So it can be, for me personally, it can be difficult, because I feel like it could be, if it's doing its job, then sometimes you may not even know it's there.
Yeah,
Because you're focusing on so many other aspects of the game that, you're just being guided along by the music.
Yeah, absolutely. Road to the Next Life was another example of that. This is actually a custom soundtrack for this game by a person who's not really involved with games that much. Where are they? Music, their portfolio. Foster Stone, Finn Foster Stone. And they usually do. Oh, they do some. Actually, no, they do games. But this was a custom soundtrack for this game. So it was very beautiful. It was piano tones, string. I think it was some strings and stuff. Very emotive for Road to the Next Life. It helped the oppressive vibe of the game a lot. There is one thing about Road to the Next Life. I think Road to the Next Life is an interesting game to talk about because it had these very gorgeous looking sort of environments and painterly environments, but it had a very sad story at the center of it, of oppression and sort of and a very unique usage of a battle where you're trying to stop someone from escaping a room. And it was actually quite sad. And I feel like that was the strength of the game itself for me, was that particular battle scene where it was quite it was this part here where you're like, some of the parts reminded me a little of Fear and Hunger, of like the way that it kind of, the characters stand and stuff like this kind of, I don't know, and you're trying to like, don't go close to the door, and you push them over, and I'm doing the same thing with my cursor on my playthrough, like circling stuff. It's just a thing I do. I circle things. Yeah. Yeah.
Cursorception.
Yeah, but it was very emotive, and there was also an interrogation scene that's very emotive in this game as well. Yeah, this was a very, very nice entry. Any other? Oh yeah, The Job, Liberty, The Job. We love The Job.
Yeah, The Job. Yeah, I really look. It was very therapeutic. How do I speak? Therapeutic to go pew 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 with my little nail gun. But also the music in it was really good. The battle music was so good, and I'm sure somebody in the chat will agree with me on that.
Yeah. Oh, I love the battle music. It's a banger, absolute banger.
Yeah, and a small detail that I don't know how many people noticed, because I didn't hear anybody bring it up, was that depending on how you entered the encounter, the intro, intro music changes slightly. Like that is one of those details that they absolutely did not have to add, but they did. And I think that's awesome.
And your positioning on the screen also changes. Like if you shoot from afar, you're further away, you get a surprise round, and if you shoot if you hit melee, then you're closer. But
Yeah.
the music was really good. The sound effects use was very good too.
Yeah.
I just like a game that gives you like sound effects.
Yeah. This could have just
A
as
lot of
easily
games
been nominated
forget
for visual as well.
Mm.
Because it was very beautiful. Well, I shouldn't like my own video. Very visually
Everybody does.
beautiful. Very visually beautiful game. Look at all these cute. There's just showing that there's a lot of games that were visually stunning that it's hard to mention them all because this is quite cute. Quite beautiful. There's a few judges got stuck on certain puzzles and stuff, but I think that's why puzzles are such a blocker. Like I am a fan of puzzle games; it's my favorite genre probably, but I also acknowledge there are so many ways to screw it up where you can just block someone from progressing in your game, and unless they walk through, they just be like, "Screw this! I'm not going to continue." So if you're going to make puzzles in your game, you really have to be careful.
I'm just glad Stoic was in my chat when I played this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not have figured it out on my own. I felt so dumb after it, but then thinking on it, it's just like it's a mistake most anybody could have made. And I think Nova, didn't you say you made kind of the same mistake when you thought it was?
I
every
made kind
box?
of the same mistake, yeah, because oddly enough, when it says, "Hey, the number of boxes equal is the solution to the puzzle," yeah, I guess I was wrong for counting all the boxes in that map.
Yeah, because there are
because they all had the same color. They all look the same. So I'm like, oh, I must count every single box. But I would have separately counted every box in the entire game.
Yeah. It's funny because with a puzzle, you have to sort of when you're designing a puzzle, there is an expectation that you have to get have enough clues in an efficient way to get the player on the same wavelength as the way you're thinking. And that's the sort of expectation. Like, for example, by establishing this expectation that the number of crates in a row might be corresponding to a number earlier in the game, and then later on when you reuse this, it will be an expectation within the game that this is something. Or maybe you can have something, a different note over here that says, hey, maybe crates in a row, you should count them. Or something. Yeah, I don't know. But
well, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have any problem with that puzzle.
Yeah, Liberty, yeah.
Aren't you
So maybe I'm just above y'all or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe our brains are just too small.
Well, to be fair, Hawk
I
was
got
the
caught on another one later on, so
yeah. Well, to be fair, Hawk was the only one who finished The Dream Is Dead on time. So,
look, I still haven't, and I'm sorry for that, but I can't figure out that puzzle.
Yeah, Call Me DJ has said they're going to change the order of some puzzles in that region, which I think is a good idea, despite me believing that is the best puzzle in the game, because it combines rules you've learned before in an innovative way. But it's just sometimes it's the same thing as this, where if you don't get the wavelength that the game is already running with, it is hard to get on that wavelength, and it can block you entirely. So that is the idea about puzzles, I feel. But the music's
get
good
your
for
play
Joe.
testers to test it out, because then they'll come up with solutions in ways that you wouldn't expect.
Play testing. Who is she? All right.
Guys, aren't you guys happy there's so many puzzle games?
Yeah. Puzzle, it's my favorite genre though. I love puzzle games. And I was in my entry to IGMC 2014, a long time ago, was a puzzle game, and that's how I met Stoic. So yeah, very very thankful to that this game jam and puzzle games, which I will always have a love for. I love puzzle games, but I also have high stakes, high standards for them.
Standards. Yeah. So if Benny's impressed by your puzzle game, that's something you should put like on put it on a
That should
quote.
be the byline.
Like, I like this puzzle.
Yeah. I love puzzle games. All right.
Testimony.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. I think we're going to these final prize winners here. Best RPG Maker Unite game, The Wild Run by Locre Leon, who was in chat. Well done, Locre Leon, for this. And I'm just going to say it. I think this was a landslide.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes.
It was an obvious winner in my books. It was well above and ahead of every other.
Yeah, I don't want
Unite
to
game.
sound rude, but like compared to the other Unite games, it was like night and day.
Yeah, and that's because
Which is
Unite
great because you look at it and you question whether or not it was even made in Unite.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
looking at the screenshots.
Yeah, and it's very it's beautiful. It's cute. It's a fun game. It's Waldorf's video title. Is this really RPG Maker?
There we go.
Fitting title. But yeah, it might be a good shot for like Unite's poster child because if they but I don't know if it's good. It's just a good example of using Unite. I don't even know. I've never used Unite. Is it in the way that it's intended to be used, or is it beyond that? Or because
No,
Unite,
it's beyond.
it's beyond
I can
expectations
tell
of
you, I
Unite.
use Unite.
It's beyond what you would expect from a Unite game.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think what
Yeah.
we're supposed to expect from Unite games is what we got in the other entries.
yeah, and I think Unite is hard to use, but use it and buy it because we are being, we're supporting GGG here, and Unite, and Wild Run.
Judges, reminder that
I think he's
judges'
gonna get an update.
thoughts are not
Yeah.
reflecting
Yeah.
on anybody.
You're implying I
Our
have
opinions
thoughts.
are our own.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But there's
It is nice to hear that it's getting an update, though.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
I believe there's some things about like touch event and stuff in particular, and things that should hopefully be fixed with that. And we love RPG Maker developer, software developer. Alrighty. The Wild Run. Well, also, it's very cute, and 3D models are very cute. And look at all this beauty. Look at these animals. They're so cute. Hey, thank you, Panda, for the sub. Yeah, and it's cool, and I think it was a good shot to say Unite. What's it called? To use Unite for this jam, because then you get a better chance of winning. But well played, Locker Leon. Well played. Very good. I loved
Look
it.
comes in, destroys the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking up until I played the Wild Run, I was like, hey, maybe if I made a Unite game, I would have won. But then as soon as I played the Wild Run, I was like, no, I probably wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have been able to make a game better than this one.
Yeah.
Second place game.
You won't
Yeah.
go close.
Yeah, I might have got second place. Anyone else got anything else to say about Wild Run?
No,
No?
great
No,
job.
I just loved how it surprised me.
Yeah.
Like I was not expecting a racing game.
Yeah. If anything, and like a elongated like career mode would be fun. Like if you had like several, I don't know what you'd have, but like a career campaign mode because this was just like, hey, you have one race, and you're like, yeah, it's done, sort of thing. Or was it 2 races? But like if you had a longer campaign beyond the theme, if you wanted to make this into a longer game, you could. It's a good start.
With bonding and training your animals and stuff like that.
More tracks, please.
Yeah, more tracks.
Yeah, more
it's
tracks, different terrain.
yeah.
Look,
maybe,
we're just selling you the whole idea now.
Yeah.
Go make it.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think that's.
Free of
There's
charge.
one thing actually I will say about some of these games. They're very expandable, and people are already working on expanding. I want to bring up Dreamweaver of Avonlea. This might be a little bit of a left turn, but I believe to point out some games that are already getting the commercial treatment. This is by Vagabond Dog. It was a cute game, but it was it had bugs on my side. But they're pursuing a full commercial game with publishing. Vagabond Dog, well known for creating Always Sometimes Monsters. Yeah, so and there's some other ones that are being pursuing commercial releases. Yeah, so if you ever do want to go in the commercial route, and I think this one has a future, to be honest, if you wanted to go that way for a smaller, cute little game. Yeah. Bureaucrat's Judgment. I said Kana, my beloved, but Bureaucrat's Judgment, my beloved, to be honest.
Yep.
This was, I'll just be transparent, this was my favorite game of the jam. I'll just first wax poetic about it because I love Disco Elysium. I love Black and White. I love dice. I love pens. But I also love games that tackle deep themes about things such as capitalism and real people going through real things with real struggles. I know, RPGs, they also have real struggles, but there is something about a sobering narrative that brings me right back into, that brings reality to us and sorts of forces us to confront what we should. And it's funny, also, Rubicin, I have played one of their previous games, Castle of Stolen Stars, for Touch the Stars game jam. And when I played this, I liked it, but I thought there were flaws in its implementation. So it was nice to see when I played their later game, I was like completely bought over, and I was like, wow, it feels like it really hit your stride with this game, and I'd love to see more like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too because it did the same thing that Exceed Excess did, and I think I mentioned it earlier about making the best that you can, doing the best you can with what you have. So I've never been a big fan of over reliance on RNG, but in a game like this where failing forward is a concept, I think that's how you handle it well. Because a lot of times when I rag on RNG, it's usually because there's either a good outcome and then an objectively bad outcome, and then if you get the bad one, then you're just like, the only solution is either to just reload the save and then re-roll. But no, this game's like, no, you're gonna take that failed challenge and you're gonna like it, and then you're just gonna make the best you can with what you have. And I think games that try to tackle that concept are really great.
Yeah.
They stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. And narratively, when we were nominating which ones would get which awards, I was like, you were forcing me to choose between Masaki and A Bureaucrat's Judgment. Those were my two favorite narratives of the jam. So I like them both, but there was just something about the writing in this that's very, very evocative. I love the writing. It's just got a nice tone to it and very nicely worded, and the conflicts play themselves out in really cool succession. Yeah.
I think one of the things that makes it very interesting is that it takes a something that's normally very difficult to understand unless you're in that sector, and doesn't dumb it down, but makes it a lot more digestible to understand what's happening and how you're working through it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not in the those sort of areas of business, it's a lot more difficult to fully understand how you're doing stuff, but it breaks it down in a way that it becomes steps to doing things, and you're like, oh, I can see how this is broken up into bits that need to be done in order for this process to happen and to achieve these ends. And also it provided us with a hateable villain, and I do so like a hateable villain. I like the game a lot.
There was something funny that I thought about, is that it knew its judges, because I'm not going to say fully why, but we're not low 20s. What do you say? Early 20s. We're not in our early 20s. We're a little older than that. Yeah, and I was this is about a lot of issues that resonate with people who have been in the world for a while and have recognized some issues in corporate, culture. Maybe, and I think maybe that's why it kind of, you're like, oh, yep, I know what this is. I recognize this. This is very familiar to me. I've been in these situations. A lot of it is about technology and its interaction with corporate life, and how some of it's taking over certain things, and then the corporate speak that certain people in high places talk to you, and then you get the big shot investors that come in and they make their big decisions, like, hey, how about we do this? And it's like a really silly idea. I found it very close to home, but also comical in a way. Dark comedy, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say the political overtones as well were very reminiscent of today's political climate.
Yes.
Or just to touch on something a little dark, but also freezer time.
Yeah. And also very hopeful at the end. I do love, well, depending on your ending, actually. It had a lot of hopeful. Yeah. I think I didn't get many endings. I should play it a few times, but I think it can either probably hopefully go like hopeful, and then it can also go like dark, you know, and that's what I like about the failing. I'm doing the circling thing with the cursor again. The failing forward thing of like being choosing and going with the message I took away from this is that no matter how noble your intentions are, sometimes it does come down to a roll of the dice whether they are successful or not, and that's the message that I like about it. Is like,
Yeah.
you can try the best thing, you know, but just like real life, even if you have the best intentions, if you don't have the right pencil, or if the situation isn't just right, it might not be successful. You might not get what you want, what you even aim for. And it's not like, hey, if you're good, then things will be great. It's like, no, sometimes good people try things and then they fail and then they get punished for it, and it's sad, but that's life, you know.
Yeah, even with the best stuff you can get to help you get through the game, you can still fail. And that's, yeah, you might come from like, you might have all the support you need and stuff like that, but things still might fail. And it's a reality that life goes on after the failure, and you just have to pick yourself up and continue onwards.
Yeah.
Right.
This is not a game that I thought would get second place, but I'm so happy it did. One of the things I was thinking is that there's a lot of games that didn't challenge the player very much. They're good games too. There's a lot of and that you don't have to challenge the player to be a good game. A lot of my favorite games, they don't have like very strong political message or whatever in it. But for this reason, I thought there's no way this is getting high placement. But I'm so happy it did, because I feel like it deserves it, and it's very high quality, and I like it a lot. Yeah. My bias.
Same here.
But yeah,
Great
I
job.
think it's all the judges' bias too. We all liked it. And that is funny. The highest placing games were pretty much loved by all judges. So we all sort of, which brings us
Speaking of deserving,
to
how about that first place?
deserving
Or serving, yeah.
Dine and Dungeon by Louis. What a great game. What a cute game. What an all-round high-quality game, to be honest. Anyone want to start with the Dine and Dungeon?
It was incredibly cute. It was it had a lot of gameplay that was just watching me fail. I was going to say a gameplay that was easy to pick up. It had different types of gameplay, and of course there was the upgrading, but also the storyline. The characters were really well written. The sound was really good. The music was very good. It communicated very quickly and easily what you needed to do and what its expectations were of you, and allowed you to go beyond it. And the character designs were really good as well. It just hit all the ticks. All the boxes were ticked nicely, and it was polished.
Yeah.
And
you know how well
it landed? Benny, can you pause that video for a second?
Yep.
You know how well it landed? Oh, crap. The progress bar is over it. Look at the quota. At any point, the judges could have just stopped because the game lets you stop. But no, we chose not to because we just wanted to keep going. We went well beyond what was asked of us. And we could have stopped at any point, but we didn't because the game was just deeply rooted into our brains.
Yeah.
We just couldn't stop.
I just wanted the money, honestly.
Same. But the gameplay loop was really solid. Usually when I play like diner games like this, I kind of don't like them. So when I first started this, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put on my best face and try not let it show that I'm not going to enjoy this as much. But when I started to really get into it, I was like, this, I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like I have to learn 500 different recipes. I kind of like that it dumbed it down a little bit, even though it didn't really feel like it dumbed it down. But you just have to make one thing today, or only two things, and hey, just get the ingredients for that sort of thing. So I liked that it kind of presented it in a way that was easy to play through the gameplay loop and also enjoy it.
Yes. I think also good to note is that a game jam, when it's not necessarily also the best or the favorite game just overall in terms of how we'd rank it, this scored also because of the rubric. as well, because it's clear the beyond expectations. You have an expectations within the gameplay, the quota, and then you can go beyond it, and then it kind of rates you at the end. Oh, you went beyond or you weren't. And then also within the story itself, you are expected to, they're like, oh, you have to deliver beyond this, otherwise your little shop in the side of the wall is going to shut down. So there were story considerations and gameplay considerations. Another thing is it was polished, meaning it didn't crash. And then graphically, it had the stuff in it, audio, visually. The gameplay was solid enough and engaging enough. And then so it's like it hits on all the the criteria. And I think that's what's important. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the, for some it might be their favorite game of the jam, but it did hit very well on all categories. That's what I'll say.
It also ramped up in difficulty. Like you mentioned before, today I've got 1, today I've got 2. It slowly introduced and then reintroduced gameplay aspects. So stuff to do. Like the first day you have one thing that you're making. Second day you might have one other thing that you're making. The next day you have both those things to make. So it's slowly amped up to let you get used to the recipes, to get you used to what you're doing in the kitchen. And that's a really good gameplay design. Just letting the pacing grow and build on itself so that you get used to it as a player and then go beyond. So to speak.
Yeah,
you teach a player mechanic, and then you layer another mechanic on top of that, and then by the time the players internalize the lowest level mechanics, you can continue building on that to make something super complicated.
Yep.
And you don't even realize it. Teaching without teaching.
Yeah, I didn't feel overwhelmed while you had to make like 5 meals at once, sort of thing. Like, okay, I could do this. I when I was playing, I was like, okay, how can I make this the most efficient? It's like I know I can do this while I'm doing that, while I'm doing this, and it felt natural and organic.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember how many orders they completed by the end of the game?
We could check on Liberty.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah,
I got 40.
Yeah, go
I'm
check.
looking at my ending screen. Yeah, I got 40 done. That was my first time through. When I did it for highlights, I also got 40, but that was after I quit ended it early 2 days, the last 2 days.
42 on Liberty?
That game, nice. Very nice.
And then how much did I get?
I missed that. Did you quit early that last day?
No, I stayed and I did them as much as possible.
There you go. There was
41 for me?
That
41?
was
Nice.
oh wow, I sucked.
No, I thought I was going to be higher, but no, I think we all did pretty well then.
I was 2 behind Benny.
Okay.
Yeah,
but that's what I was trying to say earlier. Is like, we didn't have to keep going, but we did because it was just that addicting. And like I mentioned before with Yume Nikki games, like I don't particularly care about cooking simulators, but this one deeply rooted into my brain.
Yes.
Get out of my head.
It was very beautiful. I like this one. I think it's what I'd say about this one, it's a crowd-pleasing game, and I think that's not a denigration of the game, but it is one of those types of games where I immediately, upon playing it or even looking at it in the queue, I was like, oh, this is a crowd-pleaser. I do feel like it's difficult to dislike this game because it just does everything as expected and with high quality, and its gameplay is easy to get into. So there's nothing really pointing out about it that would make someone go, ooh, no, I don't like this. It's got everything about it that's quite pleasing in all aspects. So I quite like it. It's a very good choice. Yeah. Alrighty.
Excellent all
I
around.
agree.
All round, great. Congrats to all the Jam Gam winners. But also those who didn't win, congrats to you as well. Because I did say Dine Dungeon is very crowd pleasing, but there are some great games that didn't get mentioned here that are amazing in their own right. Because maybe one thing held it back, or because maybe it wasn't. Maybe it didn't just happen. It didn't appeal to one of our our silly brains. Us judges are not perfect. We have to operate under the constraints of what our brains can allow. So we're just being honest about our opinions. If there's things in here you didn't agree with, then you're wrong. No, just kidding, you're not wrong. We we just have different brains, and I think that's good to honor the way that different brains interact with different games. And even within the judges we had agreements and disagreements, but I think overall we did our best to corroborate them into a singular sort of judgment, a bureaucrat's judgment, if you will, and then just sort of just did our best. And I think I want to say a big thank you to also the people who helped behind the scenes, in particular RK and Nessie, and also Stoic as well. Stoic has been a rock. Yeah. Stoic has been an absolute rock in this jam. A very, very hard-working people behind the scenes, and also our judges who are not here as well, Riggy and Umemi as well. I would like to give them props. Much love to them. Big props. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we're also going to do some Q&A right now. If you have some questions.
Any questions, we'll fill them.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Push out those questions. Let me see. Let me just read some things. Barry says, Dine and Dungeon, definitely the least flawed of the many entrants in this jam. Had the best cohesive gameplay element and an art style that's charming, honestly deserving the winner. Nice. Call Me DJ says, thanks for letting me yap and chat. Nice. Lockerleon lists some games they're going to play. Beyond, Kana, Masaki, and he's Meet the Box, Pental Abyss, Road to the Next Life. Yeah, they look good. Hi, Siegfried McBacon. Welcome in. Good. That's a name I haven't seen in a while, but you've been very central to a lot of McBacon Jam. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
How would you rank RPG Maker for game development in general? This is by Cat Weasel. Is it a restriction in itself, making it better for game jams, or do you feel it is a legitimate game-making option, in brackets, with a couple dozen plugins? Who'd like to tackle
You make a game with it? Yes. Then it's a legitimate game-making option. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the simplest answer, and I agree with that 100%.
My opinion is that it's great if you want to make an RPG, especially a classic RPG. If you're looking to make a 3D RPG, you could do it with it. There might be a better engine for that aspect. If you want to make a 3D shmup, go look for something else. You could do it. It won't be easy, but it has a lot of capabilities that you don't really see without diving deeper into it and seeing how things work. But it's such a flexible thing. People have been doing weird things and wonderful things with it since 2K. It's got a lot in it. It's very potential heavy. It's just a matter of, sometimes there might be a better engine for what you're trying to make.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I will also
like-
say, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you first.
That it's also the kind of engine where you get what you put into it out. Like you get out what you put in. So if you're only putting in the bare minimum amount of effort into whatever you're creating, you're only going to get the bare minimum out. And while there are limitations to the engine, certainly, it is not for everyone, of course. But I do think that it's a very robust and very what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's a good engine, especially for beginners, but also experts who can really milk out the best out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're willing to put in the work, you can get something pretty good out of it.
Yeah.
I also wanted to remind people that a lot of game developers have a starting point in RPG Maker. Some of them have written for Lord of the Rings commercial version. There's people that have been able to make companies and now have been well known, like the Crosscode devs. Then there's Astral Shift. There's Omori. There's the Course Party guy. There's a lot of people that can make a career out of this, and they learned a lot. Like RPG Maker teaches you a lot of things, and I guess what I'm saying is that try not to over rely on plugins as much as possible, right? Like, learning the basics of RPG Maker and even the coding part, RPG Maker makes it so accessible that it's worth it. Even though people will say, "Oh, it's not worth it." If it's worth it, why can't I just use Unity? Well, first of all, every engine has their poison, and some have higher learning curves than others. But like, if you use an accessible engine like RPG Maker and then learn programming and stuff like that, right? That knowledge will still pass on to other game engines, and it makes it even easier for you. And the good thing about RPG Maker is that it helps you prototype so fast. Aside from Godot, RPG Maker is like really fast at prototyping that you can just like test ideas and then like use it on a different engine later is always a possibility. And I still don't understand why people still think that RPG Maker is kind of like a toy when there's so many success stories already out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's so fun to play with.
Yeah.
And if you're
that's
having
true.
fun, you're not actually a real developer.
And to kind of Cat Weasel put another point here, it just feels like the most impressive games work around the engine's limitations rather than being empowered by it. To that, the counterpoint I would say is asset stores for like Unity and Unreal. You get asset store flips for those guys, but you don't really see a lot of people decrying those as much as you would those decrying RPG Maker games because it's just easier to point out a really bad RPG Maker game than it is to point out a really bad asset flip, I would say. So I every engine okay, I said every engine has its poison.
It's
And
easier. It's easier to notice
It's
what
how you
an
work
RPG
around that.
Maker game is as well, like by looking
Yes,
at it.
that is true.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Unity also has hate, like just mentioning that even Unity has this hate, like RPG Maker does, that is really funny. It's just we don't see it often. Like it's in different communities. Like it's like
Mhm.
oceans apart, I guess. So because you're in the RPG Maker community, you see more hate in the RPG Maker community. But if you're in the Unity community, you will also see a lot of hate for Unity asset flip games. So it's not just RPG Maker that has this problem, and it's important to remember that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great games made in RPG Maker, and I just always love when I see a great game being made. Like this year's one it seems to be Look Outside. And I just every time I see one, I'm like, yes, another game to really boost the reputation of RPG Maker a little bit more and to keep it relevant, because people who are watching Frankie Smile Show do he's doing some tutorials. I want to shout out Frankie Smile Show as well. He's doing YouTube he's streaming on Twitch tutorials about how to make dungeons. All this stuff, so I recommend go check out Frankie Smile Show. This dude has roots back all the way back to
Gaming World.
Game World and Barclay Shut Up and Jam
Shut up
Gaiden.
and jump.
Ivan?
Yeah, Gaiden. So all this, they've got these RPG workshops. They're doing dungeon level design, combat encounter design, making a starting, all these sorts of things that are just really, you go and check those out because hearing these tutorials from someone who's made a game that is extremely popular is a good thing, And we used to have a lot of tutorials available on RMN. Hopefully they come back. But yeah, there've been a lot of tutorials about this sort of stuff, so it's good to. We'll go on to another question actually, unless someone had something else to say. But Locker Leon has a question. Thank you, Locker Leon. Liberty and all judges not here. I said this to a couple of you, but I just have to say to everyone that I tried to catch as many of your streams and VODs as possible. I learned so much from the feedback you all provide on all the entries. I can only imagine the amount of work you spend on providing feedback. So I really wanted to throw you all a big heartfelt thank you. Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
Super
many-
nice comment.
So many devs have been really receptive to even some of the harsher commentary that's been given on feedback and whatnot. And it's so wonderful to see people taking criticism really well, because it has been a problem in the community that criticism, it's like, your game's your baby.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
get
So
upset
criticism of personal
when
projects can feel personal. That's yeah.
people get upset, but there's been so many people who've been just like literal sweethearts, just been like, oh my god, this person played my game and they said this thing, but they said this thing, and I really appreciate all the feedback. And it's like, oh god, but I ragged on that game so bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed my ragging. Thank you. I'm sorry, but it's said with love to help you grow. Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. Yeah. Main thing is, when you're giving feedback, I think I used to, there's a lot of, it's very hard, to receive feedback, but a lot of giving feedback is also an art as well. And I think this has become more obvious more recently. I think in the older days, we used to be a lot more brash about feedback, but sort of couching it in love. That's a weird way of saying it, but I guess it is. You want the developer to succeed. I think that's the main thing that sort of characterizes good feedback, in my opinion, is when you actually legitimately care about the developer of the game. And that comes across, and you can balance the good and the bad. I like to sort of say at least one thing that the game developer did really well, no matter what, one of the strengths of the game, even if, they go to talk about, and I like to frame it as the ways that I bounced off the game, which is like, in particular, me, when I played this game, these are the things that I had not so positive feelings about while I was playing. And then they can contextualize that and say, they can just say, wow, that was just you, but they don't have to say that out loud to me. They can just, I feel free to discount my feedback if you wish, or to put certain weights on different points as you wish, because I don't represent all game players of your game, but I'm putting it out there so that if you have maybe about 20 players and 19 of them come across the same issue, then maybe there is something that will commonly annoy your gamers, and then you have to sort of figure that out, But I think couching it within the subjective experience is one of the ways that when you're giving feedback, you can really avoid a lot of the traps of being way too harsh and making someone never want to make games again.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an art of itself. It's just like, and I think, yeah, someone in chat touched upon a good point. It was like, yeah, you have to understand that there may be a difference between what what the person playing your game thinks is best versus what the dev thinks is best. There's going to be a disconnect there always, but I think it's always best that the person playing the game doesn't act like they know your game better than you do. Sometimes there could just be a failure of communication between player and developer. I think that needs to be acknowledged before we can talk about what the best changes, like what changes are best. Because whenever I go through games, I just make a note of like, hey, here's how this part makes me feel because X, Y, Z, and then I usually just kind of leave it up to the developer to figure out, okay, well, is that what I wanted to? Is that the reaction I wanted to get from players? If not, then okay, then we can talk about how best to address that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it could be just learning the difference between personal difference in preferences versus something actually wrong with your game.
Yeah, and every game has a different aim. So sometimes, you may be aiming for a particular player, and if that person isn't that type of player, then maybe that's, for example, if you're making a survival horror game, I'm not very good at those, and if I give feedback, you can kind of discard some of that because it's just the way my brain works doesn't, function that way. But, as a developer, you have to kind of weigh up the different perspectives and come to your own conclusion about what is going to be best for your game. And it, and that's just your sort of idea that you have to come up with. Sci-Fi says, my friends are ruthless when it comes to giving criticism for my game, so I can really find what to improve upon when there's very little criticism. I know for sure it's good. I feel that's also because
You've got
your
good
friends. Yeah, your friends care about you. I think that's what matters, because if you got that from a random person, it might be a little more difficult to take, but that you've had a background with those friends and they actually care about you. So when they give criticism, they can be a little more blunt about it because they they care, Ozzy says, there any criticism that bothers me when someone gets something pointed out that I am already aware of, if not the player's fault for pointing out me knowing it, but it still annoys me. Yeah, that's something you have to deal with.
Fix your game, Ozzy.
That's something you have to deal with yourself, Ozzy. But also, I understand the feeling and validate that feeling, because feelings are feelings, and it's and with responding, it's all about the way you deal with your feelings, and what's best way to respond. And I always think that navigating towards the positive end is usually better, because in the moment, anger can distort the way that you view things. Yeah. Good criticism.
Sorry.
Yep.
I also feel there's something to be said about having done a game and then getting feedback for it and saying, look, I'm not going to fix this game, but I will take that feedback forward into the next one so that when I make my next game, I'll build upon the feedback. I don't expect everybody to go back and fix everything that's wrong with the game. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's been pointed out as a possible wrong in a game that they've considered finished, right?
Yes.
Like, but at least think about what you want to take forward from what criticism comes your way
Yes.
and what areas to work on in the next
Yes.
game.
Oh, and Lemon Ace, this is a good point. You say, I'd much rather have good criticism than blind praise. It's a fair point, but I also, there's a theory of mine, there's also blind criticism and good praise. And I actually think a lot of reviewers need to learn how to give good praise, because I almost feel like praising in the right areas is good for a developer, because there's a type of development where you can just chip away at all your weaknesses, sure, but you need to know what you do well, and and your strength, and you need to play to your strength. And I feel like some developers don't know what they're strong at, and to hear what you are strong at, you go, there you go, that's the thing you are doing well. And then the developer's like, oh, am I a good writer? Yes, you are a good writer. You're not good at gameplay, but you're good at writing. And then it's like, okay, maybe I should make a visual novel. Pointing out a game's or a developer's strengths is just as important as pointing out the weaknesses. Because if all they hear is, you're bad at this, you're like, well, what am I good at? That's my view of them. Alrighty, a new question by Raim. What was it? Raim Harbert? Yes, Raim Harbert. I have a question. Which is the best RPG maker to start for someone without any experience?
Whichever you can get for cheapest.
I was going to make that joke. Whichever's on sale.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
there's a
really,
lot of-
like if you have zero experience, then the differences between the
Yeah.
makers really aren't going to matter to you.
There-
Because you have to learn the
Hard
fundamentals, and you can do that with any answer.
there are some
Like, I love
people work on-
RM2K3, but if you try to make a game in RPG Maker 2003 and like, you know how a lot of people are kind of like not realizing this in the UI, but in RPG Maker 2003, if you click, in VXAs to MZ, if you click on a thing, it remembers the last position. Now imagine that gone, and it's so
Yeah.
painful to make a game without that feature. So I would say start with VXAs above. 2K3 is like, you're a brave soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a funny
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
happening
they're
right
brave
now where the people using 2K3 are some of the best RPG Maker developers. Because they know how to use it. Because that's what I feel, is because they're already like, I know how to use this and I can manipulate it to my desire. There's a few 2K3 wizards in the chat here, Narcotis being one of them. Looming Spire is an incredible achievement in 2K3. Yeah.
I think
There you go. My favorite's MZ.
I prefer Ace. I just hate the resolution.
Right.
But I think the thing to know about any RPG maker is that there's a lot of crossover between them. So if you're going from like 2K to MZ, they're going to find new things, sure, but there's a lot that's very similar. So you can jump from one to the other if you feel like you're not feeling it with one or the other. And also, most of them have free trials that you can try out and see which one jives with you. So that's also an option. Test them out before you buy them and see which one is the one you want to play and mess with and enjoy and like and will fit your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Like sometimes MV is like $5 and MZ is like 50. So you go, okay, maybe I'll try MV, see if I like it, and then I go into others. So yeah, is that. We'll go into another question. Oh, yes, keep going. Yeah.
I was going to say, just like understand that if you're going to start, like if you're at the point where you're asking, hey, which one should I start with? You're not going to be making your dream game, right? Your objective is to learn, and that's why I think Hawk, you said that was a joke, but I meant that with 100% seriousness. Like get the one that you can that lets you start playing around with the engine quicker, whether it's on sale. Like if 2K3 is on sale, get it. and then just play around with it. And then if you find that you're liking the process, but you're finding some limitations, okay, cool. Then I guess you can wait for a sale for another engine.
Yeah.
But the idea is get started quicker, and so that's what I wanted to. That's why I wanted to say whichever one's cheapest.
Yeah.
Because whichever gets you started quicker, that lets you start brainstorming faster, that lets you start playing around with ideas, that lets you start figuring out if this really is the path you want to take. Because if you're really just starting out, you might not even know if RPG Maker is going to be the engine for you.
Yeah.
So it could be that Unity might let you do what you really had in mind, or something else. So whatever gets you started making RPGs quicker. I think that's the recommendation I would always say.
I will say, in an addendum, RM95 probably not so much. And
It has mouse
just to
support.
note, there's mouse support, yes. XP is a little bit more divorced from the others because of the
different
mapping
it
system
is.
is very different. It took away a lot of things that are inherent in the others as well that you need to replace with scripts, and it was the first one to make the jump to scripting. So a lot of people love XP. I hate it personally, but I can understand staying away from that if you want to be able to jump from one to the other easily. If you want to start out with a less costly one and then jump to a newer version later on once you're more used to the program, XP might not be the one you start with. But some might say it's also one to check out just cause, and it's usually cheap anyway. So
Another good thing is
For my
Sorry.
personal recommendation, right? Sorry. My personal recommendation, right? If you just want to play Legos, 2003 is not bad, but I would personally start with VXAs or MV or MZ.
Not VX.
Not VX.
We all agree
do
on
it
that, right?
it has its own charm,
Yeah.
but
Not
no.
Not
VX.
VX.
Yeah,
but
no
do it
VX.
yourself.
I love it.
Even
No.
2000 is better.
The idea of just starting with any engine, if we look at Look Outside is probably the biggest RPG Maker hit of this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look at his history,
VXAs.
it's just boom, 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 boom. All these little games, these little game jam games that they've done leading up to this one game that just went big. So, make lots of little games. That's the basic thing. You can make them in different engines. This person has as well, Frankie Smile Show, and it's a good, just you practice. All of you have probably done this, because you're taking part in this jam. So, most of you. So yeah, just make games, make your games. We'll go on to the next question. Raim says, how to differentiate between blind and good praise or criticism. Maybe we won't go too long on this one because we've already done, but I would just say, it's hard. you have to just try.
You can understand. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Context. Someone says, "Oh, I really love your art." Then okay, sure, that's pretty much blind praise. Or, "Oh, this looks terrible." That's blind criticism. But if they say, "This doesn't look right because your hand has 6 fingers," or "I really like this because your composition and the perspective of your art really fits the scene well," that's good criticism and good praise.
It's interesting because I actually don't think there is really blind criticism. Well, maybe. What I think is when everyone has valid feelings when they play a game, and then people just differ in their ability to explain their feelings. I think the best things are when you play a game and you explain what you're feeling. And then the developer, you can learn, there's learnings that you can recommend, but I actually try not to recommend fixes to things as much. I've sort of over the years started to just explain what I'm feeling. Oh, I feel frustrated here. Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, where do I go? Who's this character? And I think the developers can come to their own conclusions about why me as the player feel all those weird feelings. And I'm like, oh, I'm frustrated here. This is annoying. I'm bored, while I'm playing. And that's why I like to do the Let's Plays, because they can watch it and go, oh, they were bored during this part. They got stuck during this part. So that's the criticism that I actually like to give nowadays, is just a 3D view of how I feel while playing and, explaining how I feel. And I think when people start recommending too many things, it's not guaranteed that they are the good developer that you think they are. Maybe if they're the developer of Look Outside, then you'll trust them. But if they don't make good games themselves, maybe you shouldn't take advice from them. It's things like that. But the best kinds of reviews I've heard are ones where a player plays and they just describe how they feel. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I have a little. I agree, but also disagree with that, because I think you don't have to be able to make good games to understand good game design or what you like in a game or what works for something. Because maybe you don't make good games, but you've played a lot of games in this genre that do things a bit better than this. So you can suggest, oh, well, maybe if you were a bit clearer with the instructions in this, it would actually flow a bit better or be a lot more understandable. Or maybe you play, you read a lot of puzzles and stuff like that and say, oh, well, I don't really, I don't like this because it's not clear on how to solve the puzzle, or you're not giving enough clues for this. And so
I agree. Yeah, I agree. If
I'm a
interject,
suggester, so
I do think it's just harder to know or trust whether that is correct. If you don't know the person. Yeah.
I think part of getting criticism is taking away what you need from the criticism you get, and not just blindly taking all criticism you get.
Yeah.
You've got to pick and choose what's going to work for your game, because a lot of people are going to say, I'll do this, this will make it better, this will make it better. And it might not be part of the vision you have for your game. So someone might say, oh, the limited color palette that you're using really makes it really bland and boring. And you're like, bitch, I use black and white because I want it to be dark and stand out, and the red to look really cool when it splashes across the screen like that when I kill people, and it's like, I'm not going to change it to full color because of that. But you've got to pick and choose what critique you take from the people that are giving you critique.
Yeah.
That's part of being a dev.
Very good point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right, we'll move on to the next question, which is Locke Leon. What game would win the most comical or funny award if there was one?
A tough one to answer, because there were a lot of games that had lighthearted moments, but I don't know if I would ever call them comedy games.
Final Battle 3.
Okay.
My game. This game cracked me up from front to back. Everyone should play it. I love it. It's so good.
It came out swinging.
It's hilarious, but it's also a poster child as to why machine translation probably isn't the best way to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
so to be clear, this is I love this game, and it is a mixed thing. Man, Loxy is battling me again. Loxy, you know how I battle with you. Okay, it's fine. Final Battle 3. Let me pull up something. So it's a machine translated game, and the translation is inaccurate, but it is very funny. And I'm sorry to the developer but it really doesn't see it. This war is far too long. I can no longer. Does how long? 10 years? I want to see my family again. It's just really, oh man, it reminds me of some of the best kind of games in this type of idea. There's the phrase "farter cable," which is a French phrase, which apparently means bust a wire or something. It had the room energy exactly, and it's such a good time. Have a good play of it. I loved it. Yeah, B movie. Yeah. We actually kill the whole species if we reflect.
Where's the cable farting?
Where's the cable
Do you
farting?
remember where the cable farting is?
What?
Jeez, it was.
She
it was
doesn't
past
know.
this, I think.
Oh wait, where is it? It's a farter cable. Oh no, this is awful. This is the bad part of the translation. Where is it? I know that the kingdom is in criticism, but I have already taken too much risk. I'm a man married to 2 children, you know, and more than now I have to take it.
This is amazing.
Hey yo.
I see. I downloaded it because you got it on the recommendations in the sheet, right? And I was just like, oh,
Yeah, they're obviously supposed to be saying married with 2 children, but it's great. Family of my best friend. So I want to leave the soldier and do nothing to do with that now. It's okay, I understand, but no, nothing, I grant you. Even I don't know what to do. There are barely 5 soldiers in the castle, and yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, everyone should have a go of this. It's great. I also liked. What else did I like? Oh, there were purposely funny games as well. There was Wrath of Wood's entry. What was that one called? How did you make a call? Oh. It's in this.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank on it too. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the
RPG
shooting
Invaders.
one.
I think you guys were talking about that.
RPG Invaders. Now this one's great. It starts off with like a what's it called? Not code. It starts off with a like a stuttering D&B drum and bass sort of remix of Theme 1 or something. And then you just like start shooting like there's some hilarious dialogue, and you just start shooting in 3D at these characters, and it's very short and it's very brusque and funny. I liked it a lot. Very funny. But yeah, nothing beats Final Battle 3 for being unintentionally hilarious to me. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
One that was intentionally humorous was The Hero is Undead.
Okay. Oh yeah, this was quite funny.
Yeah, this one was it was cute. It was kind of funny. I didn't slap my knee giggling at any of these games, but I'm kind of hard to get to laugh in media type stuff. But I'll chuckle, and I chuckled, so
Yeah.
that's something.
You did play Final Battle 3.
I haven't played it yet. I will.
It gives me
It's on the list.
it's great vibes. Yeah. Great. We'll go on to if anyone else has funny. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next question. Great question, by the way. Next question was what are your best tips? Who said that one? What are your best tips in general? Oh no, wait, where is it? What are your best tips? I'm trying to look through where it was. Someone asked, what are your best tips for someone starting a new full-length project, especially one with experimental gameplay mechanics? It was Call Me DJ.
I would say start in the middle. Make a prototype area, which can be like a middle area of your game, because that gives you don't have to worry about like pacing out a tutorial. So you can put all of your ideas in one place, and then you can just play with those. And then if you realize that you're onto something, then you can start building your real game. But
Yeah.
if you like start from the beginning of your game and then just try out all these different experiments, when you fail, and you will fail. I worked on my last game, Prayer of the Faithless. I worked on that for 7 years. Failures all around. You're gonna have to go back and redo all the stuff that you've made over and over and over and over again, and that's
Yeah.
gonna wear on you. So yeah, start small, and then put all your ideas in one place, and then you can expand on that.
Yeah. Nova's a great person to ask for that because Nova has created some longer games. I think Prayer of the Faithless, I don't know what the standard playtime on that, but that's about 20 hours or so. Nessie would also be a good one to answer that because Nessie has done a lot of project work on a longer, big scale game, of course, on several of them. But how to like start, how to really. But for me, I'll be honest, a lot of the games I've made are shorter. They're shorter than an hour. I'm trying to make longer games, but yeah. RK says I start on the end. Nice. Yeah, I don't really know where to start, but Nova, it does ring true. You have to find the fun, they say, Find the fun and then build from there.
I think one of the things to keep in mind as well is to not overdo it with the systems and stuff like that. Try and
Yes.
concentrate it around what your focus is so that you don't go so that you're not having a situation where the player has forgotten the main because they went to do side content and ended up 30 hours into side content, and then was like, I should probably go back to the story. Now, where
Yeah.
were we? And how do I play this game again? So yeah,
Yeah.
don't bloat it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to kind of
Sometimes.
tack on to the end of that, don't also, I mean, like feature creep, like you were saying, don't bloat your game, but also don't, like if you're developing a game for a long length of time, don't redo the game constantly. Like it's easy to kind of have your game, like you have the first half done there, like you look back, it's like, oh, I could do this so much better. And yeah, clean up some stuff, sure, but don't completely change the game because like, oh, I should have done it this way, should have, because you'll never finish. You'll just keep redoing what you have and releasing demo after demo after demo and just have nothing to really show for it.
Yeah.
Are you watching me
I
my
think
first
so.
3 years of Prayer of the Faithless development? I was dead on what
Yeah.
I was doing.
I think particularly, yeah, Nova has good experience in that because Nova spent a very long time on that Prepare the Faithless project. Well, it's not the only game that Nova's finished. There's also Soul Sunder and others, but it's a big project and it went through several rewrites. But yeah, I think Nova in particular is a good one to follow for that, and of course the others. But I'll just say that I feel you there. That's all I have my advice, and I support my friends' advice. All I say is, yeah, I feel you. I don't know where to start. I'll be honest. But sometimes you just have to. With my experience with creative projects, you just have to do it. That's an annoying thing,
Jump
but
in, yeah.
the hardest thing is just doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Whatever. Oh no, actually, this is my advice. Whatever helps you to get it done. That's a weird advice, but however you can get it done, that's the way, I guess. Because sometimes you just try different things, and you have to try and find the way to get the project done. This goes with any creative project. Whatever gets it out there is the way. That's how I feel. I don't know. That's a weird way to put it, but like, because even for other creative projects I've done, RPG Maker Cola or any other thing, streaming, whatever gets it out there for me is the right way to creatively make a project. It's just my philosophy. Yeah. Alright.
Game jams.
Doing game jams.
Yeah, game jams are great. A lot of, obviously, Look Outside came from one of Hawk's jams actually, which is amazing. And then a lot of these games came from game jams. Look Outside, Buffet Night, a game jam game. Fear and Hunger's from RMN, Morris from RMN. So these might not be the best example. One Shot is a prolific game jam. Yeah, IGMC
Right.
2014, which is in the the line of the same types of game jams that this one was in.
You know what's
so
crazy?
Yep.
It was disqualified.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
And then it's like, bro, it's still
Then
good.
look at it
Publish
now.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Illy brings up a good
So
idea.
take that as a lesson, everybody. Like, just because your game gets DQ doesn't mean it's terrible, because you never know.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Even I think Look Outside didn't come first in that jam, did it, Hawk?
No, it didn't. Shoot, I forget what it came out as. Just a second.
Yeah. Illy says, nothing that helps with project strategy, one I should follow, but I don't. You have a big serious project and one be a goof off funsies one. You're having sometimes a couple projects, not too many, but just like 2 projects. You can work on whichever one tickles your fancy at the time. If you have trouble, motivating yourself to work on your project, you can always try it.
Yeah, it was it was 4th for the people score, the public score, and then it was 7th for the judges score.
Yeah, true. Nice. Yeah, and that's the thing, you come 7th, and that doesn't mean it doesn't mean your game is not, because there were so many different entries here. It could be, the thing is with the scoring here, it could be something simple that held you back. Like it could have been like a simple mechanic that was implemented in a weird way that caused everyone who played it to have a bad time. But once you've fixed that mechanic, everyone has a good time, So it's like it's not quite easy to say the future of a game based on scores alone. It's actually something more indistinct than that, It might not be it might be a game that didn't get any awards that becomes the big game that comes out of this jam, you know? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of really cool games that didn't really hit the theme, but outside of the jam, holy shit, it could blow up because it doesn't need to hit the theme outside of the jam, does it?
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
Any more questions? I think Raim says, I don't know how serious is. No, I don't take it seriously. What is the difference between making a jam game and a magnum opus? I don't know. It could be the same thing.
Well, usually
Public
the
perception.
magnum opus is your first one that you try on RPG Maker, but then it fails and you get realistic
Yeah.
about stuff
Yeah.
until you get your skills up even more.
I think
Then you
magnum.
make it a magnum opus.
Yeah, it's just the one that is regarded as the most important or best work. And my idea is it could be one that you don't even think is going to be your one. It could be one that something you make that people remember you for, that you were thinking, hey, that wasn't even something that I thought. The idea is people go, I'm going to make my magnum opus, but that's an intentional idea. And then you end up being remembered for something else entirely. So sometimes your magnum opus can be chosen for you. Yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions? There's some really lovely, devs in here of great. I saw Pixel Eric earlier. They they co-developed Project Robot, which was a lovely little game. Didn't quite get any discussion here, but it was fun. It was really fun. I think Nova has a highlight video on that.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some joke game. There's some joke questions. What is Lady Gaga's magnum opus? It's Bad Romance. That's the answer.
Yeah, or paparazzi.
I was gonna say
Okay. Yeah.
Poker Face.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
whole
out.
album. There we
I'm
go.
gonna out Stoic. He outed himself, but Stoic is the co-developer of Master of the Wind, which is an amazing Masao sweeping game that I asked if Stoic should upload to itch, which I think should be done, because people need to rediscover that game. Yeah. I don't think there's any other any other things you want to, the judges, do you want to discuss about this jam in general?
No, I'm good.
I've got one ending note. I think we kind of mostly covered that, but I just wanted to put it into words. Regardless of how your game scored, I think some people may be looking at their scores and being a little disappointed because they thought they did better with that. One thing I want to make very clear is that 262 entries. Statistically, the odds were against you. So what you really need to take away from this is your own assessment of your own performance. How well did you think you did? We all had the same time frame, but we all had different free times, different backgrounds, different experiences. So if you did the best you could with what you have absolutely nothing to feel ashamed of, regardless of how well your game turned out. Because if you can take something from this jam, then it was a success, a massive success, because it's only going to make you a better developer. You now have this experience under your belt, and you can use that going forward. Massive win. And I hope everyone takes that to heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go into final words later on for each of the judges, just in case you were thinking about when you would make your final wrap-up words. But that was a great point. Ozzy says, how stressed were you by the judging? Laughter as a response.
Sorry, I laughed out loud. Sorry.
Some days were more stressful than others.
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly call it stressful, but I did feel a bit of a crunch at times where I had to kind of rearrange a few things to make sure that I was getting the games done in enough time to also keep up with my streaming schedule and working full time and things like that. So
I feel the same, as I feel the same feeling as when I'm doing a jam. I love it. It's a lot of work, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of prolonged tasks in order that are sometimes quite menial to get through, but also sometimes really fun. And also part of one big thing that you can say, I'm proud that I, helped judge for this. I'm proud that I played all these games, and I think it's for a good cause too, because developers deserve to be uplifted, and I think it's also a thankless. Well, no, it's not a thankless job. You're all literally thanking us, but I'm very privileged and thankful. Yeah, it
Few
was
more of these under
stressful
my-
but fun.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's all.
All right. A few more of these under my belt, and I can say I'm in the 10,000 PG Maker games. So
Wow. Yeah,
Getting
much
there.
love from the chat. Much love from the chat. Thank you so much. Was there another
No.
question? I don't think there's another question here. Alrighty, well, I think this is that's the end of this thing here. Thank you to all the judges and thank you to chat for being here. We'll just wrap this up a little bit. But I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah, especially with the jam, everybody's sending love. We'll probably end up with each of the judges saying something to chat just to finalize, finally just say something you want to say. Nova, did you want to say something extra from what you already said, or was that your final words? Final words to humanity.
No, I think I covered it up. Everyone should be proud of themselves, no matter how their game ended up. Even if they ended up making something that blew up, like exploded in their faces. That's still experience that will help you. I think you learn more from your failures than from your successes. So if some of you guys got a lot smarter from this, then it's a win.
Yeah. How about another judge? Yeah, Hawk. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just agreeing.
Oh yeah.
No, it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. A lot of fun trying different games and having to play games that I usually probably would not have picked to play just on looks alone or from the genre or whatever, and also doing it in an unbiased fashion so I could be fair and equitable as a judge, but also finding that hey, I actually really do enjoy this. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
You had an awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova. Nova said something. Liberty.
I mean, you want me to keep talking or what?
Never again.
I think I've talked enough this time.
I always love these jams. We all get to see what the community has in their tiny little brains that we can pick out and just go through and say, oh my god, you guys thought of this, that's so cool, and this guy thought of this, that's so cool, and these two get together, then they can make that, yeah. And just seeing what the community is creating and building and growing and becoming, like, it's always fun seeing someone from way back and then going, oh, I remember them from IGMC 2014, and then seeing them now and being, holy shit, they have so much. And it's so cool to see everybody and new faces and just the connectivity that everybody has when they all get together to be part of a jam. It's such a worthwhile experience. It's such a wholesome experience, and it's just I love to take a part in as well, even if I'm not actually making a game, judging the games. It makes me feel like I'm part of it, and I'm sure the other judges feel like they took part in something that was special as well. And y'all did so good, so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nissy, do you want to say anything?
No.
Fair enough.
No.
New. Kana, my beloved.
Kind of beloved. No, you guys everyone did great.
Yeah.
I have been spamming your chat with clap, clap, clap. And
Yeah.
everyone did so great. Come in.
Yeah, Stoic says a heartfelt thank you to the judges and everyone in chat who participated in the jam. For those who don't know, Stoic was very instrumental in organising pretty much so much about the jam, and very lovely. And also Arkea did a lot of the graphics and the webpage stuff and the jam. You know, anything visual you see for the jam, it's probably an Arkea thing. So much thanks to both of you for that. And my final words, I really love judging. I really love being part of this. I almost wasn't a judge. Stoic basically tapped me on the shoulder and, said, "Hey, would you be able for being a judge if, And then I was like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm busy nowadays." But then, okay, fine, And then who knows and then when I get into something I'm really into, I'm like, I'll do this, I'll review everything, I'll do, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and obviously, yeah, just really cute and just good to see. I see it as an overall positive to support game developers and to support games coming forward, and to keep RPG Maker alive, basically, and to get people connected in communities. That's the thing I love to see. Is just game developers having good, fulfilled game development lives, basically, and that's what I want to see at the end of the day. Is just people being fulfilled in their pursuits. Thank you to, I can't read out every thing, but I just want to acknowledge, I think Milu, is that the developer of Dine and Dungeon is there as well? Congrats on winning as well. We actually have both of the winners in, the 3 winners in here for the monetary prizes in here. Well done to all of you. And congrats, and thank you for the thanks, and thank you for the support. And go follow. I've been linking people. I linked Nova, Liberty, and Hawk. Oh, and I'll link Riggy as well. Riggy can't be here, but I'm sure he loved everything that he loves everything. And yeah. Alrighty, so that's it. I think that's it. We're going to and the VOD is going to be on my channel, and I just leave it up to anybody else who wants to record or host. I'm just on RPG Maker Cola. I'll link that just so you can see the VOD. It's also going to be on this Twitch stream as well. I'll publish the VOD and make it available. But yeah, that's it. Have a good day, everybody. It's good having you here. And thank you to the judges for being here. We'll just figure out somebody to raid, probably, right?
Yeah, thanks for hosting this.
No worries,
thank you, Benny.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Who should we raid?